Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, on a very special episode of Hollywood After Dark, we look at two men, both struggling with their identities as they freak out over different parts of fandom. One man, a reaction channel, upset at two gay men in a movie, and the other, a bloviating idiot from somewhere in the Arctic, cries about fake news that he himself manufactured. All of that here tonight, all of that more here tonight in Hollywood After Dark. Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Welcome to the show tonight. It is Sunday. It is November 7th. It is N7 day. It is a Mass Effect day. I think that's what I saw on Twitter. I have no idea if that's true or not, but either way, if you haven't played any of the Mass Effect games, what are you doing with your life? You're missing out. Not so much maybe number 3. Nah, number 3 is okay. Number 3's fine. It had Andromeda pile of crap, but maybe the next one, maybe Mass Effect 4, whatever they're working on next, will finally bring us back into the fold, and maybe Henry Cavill being in a movie. Who knows? But what I do know is right off the bat, Blinded Braille becomes a channel member right as we get started. Thank you so much, Blinded Braille. Really appreciate that. You guys are keeping the channel afloat during these rough times when I feel like there's not a lot of content to cover that's not drama filled, and though that I fully admit tonight is going to be a bit of that. Thank you all very much for your support. Thank you, Blinded. And if you want to help support the channel, really the best way to do it is to become a patron or become a channel member. YouTube does take their 30%, which is not as bad as Twitch, but still, ouch, ouchity, ouch, ouch, ouch. But all that being said, this month we are going to be giving away Elite Battle Angel 4K. I have 2 copies to give away. So we did 2 giveaways this month to get in on that action. Become a channel member. Those are arriving in the mail. I bought them. They're arriving. I can even autograph them if you would like. I don't know why. That's like the weirdest thing in the world, but apparently some people out there may want my autograph for down the road when I'm super rich and famous and amazing. But why don't we bring in my guests for this evening? We have Resident Justice and Caden Reed. What's going on, guys?
What up?
What up?
Not too much. It's been an interesting day, right?
Yes, a very traumatic day, I would say.
Yeah, for other different reasons, not necessarily related to movie talk per se. I will kind of point out the thing for me, the big one for me here is actually this whole thing. And I'll just start off with this. I want to get you guys' take on it. What do you think about Vin Diesel and his open letter to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in hopes of trying to reunite the team to get the family back together for the last movie? Did you guys see this today?
I did see this, and it's absolutely hilarious. I don't really know what to make of it. I can't tell if this is just Vin Diesel being Vin Diesel and being a practical businessman trying to put it out publicly, or if this comes across as a very condescending, please come back. We need to do this for Fast 10 because we want to make all the money in the world, and we know we need you to carry our box office because you're pretty much like one of the most likable actors in the franchise. You know, it was interesting. Some of the wording in there was like, fulfill your destiny, my little brother. It's like,
yeah,
Pablo.
My children call you Uncle, like what they call him, Uncle Dwayne.
Yeah, Uncle
right.
Dwayne.
My children call you Uncle Dwayne. You know,
they miss you. They miss you, Uncle Dwayne. Come back to us.
I know they totally.
Honestly, The Rock should come out tomorrow and just make an Instagram post, just making fun of Vin Diesel and saying, no, thank you. You know, or just
well, you know what? Here's the thing with this, though, right? I think there's actually a reason why this is being talked about right now. Why is this happening? But before all that, I do want to say here, this is what Vin Diesel says. He says here today, my little brother Dwayne, the time has come. The world awaits the finale of Fast 10. As you know, my children refer to you as Uncle Dwayne in my house. There's not a holiday that goes by that they and you don't send well wishes, but that time has come. Legacy awaits. I told you years ago that I was going to fulfill my promise to Pablo. I don't know who Pablo is. Maybe that's Paul. Oh, Paul,
yes,
maybe?
Paul.
Yes, okay. Paul. I swore that we would reach and manifest the best Fast in the finale. That is 10. I say this out of love, but you must show up. Do not leave the franchise idle. You have been very important. You have a very important role to play. Hobbs can't be played by any other. I hope that you rise to the occasion and fulfill your destiny. And I get it. I get that it comes across. It could be a couple different ways, but look. But I'll tell you why I think it happened today. All right. So what came out in theaters this weekend?
Eternals.
What else came out in theaters this weekend?
Red Notice.
Eternal, $71 million opening weekend, which we're going to get more into that one. Red Notice didn't even crack the top 10.
Wait, hold up. Red Notice actually came out?
Yes, Red Notice came out playing theatrically this week because it opens next week.
Next
Oh,
Friday.
I thought you meant it came out on Netflix already. I was about to say, what?
No, it came out in theaters this week.
I had no idea. Was it
And it's not even in the top
just
22. No, it's in theaters here in the States. I think it's in like Cinemark theaters, like Army of the Dead. But here's the thing, Army of the Dead, when that opened in Cinemark during its first weekend, it pulled in $780 million or $780,000 in its opening weekend. Red Notice did not even crack the top 22. And that ended up, and again, number 22 this weekend was Becoming Cousteau, and that grossed a total of $1,000. That was number 22. So I don't know where exactly. Maybe the numbers haven't come in yet because you know what? It's not the end of the business day, and that's generally how it works out. But even Spencer, the new, Kristen.
The Princess Diana movie.
Yeah, Princess Diana movie. For some reason, I totally lost
Stewart.
Thank you. That's how much I care.
Yeah, but that movie's huge though because
it's huge. 783,000. That's it.
That's the Oscar play this year for Kristen Stewart. So.
Yeah, and so and Last Night in Soho did that was number 10 with $580,000. So here's why I'm saying this. Here's why I'm saying this is important. You have the opening of a movie with The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, a Netflix produced movie directed by Ross and Thurston Marshall, who did Skyscraper, Central Intelligence, We're the Millers. And it is Netflix's highest budgeted film with $185 million budget. And it couldn't even crack the top 22. So, and they did a whole red carpet on this the other night. Remember we had all those comments coming out of Hiram Garcia, the producer. That was a big event. That was a big premiere. Everyone was there.
He had because funny thing is talking about it is they had a big virtual fan premiere with this big screen. They had actual fans there. They had
it was a huge event.
TikTokers there on the red carpet. They had the Terramana truck. They had every single trade out there. It's just and yet it's weird that and he did the 12 days of Red Notice, which is his way of saying 12 days of Christmas. Something like that. It's just
and never mind that he's also signed on to do a Christmas movie,
right?
With Amazon,
with Jake
Kasdan, and so instead of doing, they're going, oh no, we're going to get to Jumanji 4 at some point, but first let's go do this Red One. They're calling it Red One, I think is the name of that movie, and it's that title's going to have to change. Now look, here's the thing: Red Notice, when that drops on Netflix Thursday night at midnight, I'm definitely going to be watching it. Or maybe if I have time, I'll sneak off to the cinema this week and go see it because I'd actually like to see this one on the big screen.
I'm just not feeling any hype for this though.
No, there's not. There's no hype, and even the review on I think Variety called it a swing and a miss.
Yeah, I heard the Variety review was very
the Ryan Reynolds and the Rock dynamic duo, and that that's the only good part of this movie.
I mean that's the whole thing is the movie came out. And let me take a quick look here at the Rotten Tomatoes score. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 43% with 63 reviews, but a 92% with only 50 verified ratings.
Probably because it's only in Cinemark.
Because you can watch it in some theaters. I don't know how many theaters at it tonight. I have to go look up that information. But the reality of it is this. This is Netflix's biggest movie of the year. This is Netflix. This has got the biggest stars in the world in it. This is the big movie. This is one that should have had a wide release 2 weeks prior in order to get people to go watch it and then watch it on Netflix. Because we've learned with day and date, things can actually do pretty well. Look at Dune, right? Things like that.
Well, does Netflix care more about the box office, or do you think they're just looking for those digital numbers?
They want the impact. They want the impact value, obviously. But at the same time, they are looking to migrate their way into getting the box office. They bought the Egyptian theater. They signed an exclusivity contract with Cinemark earlier this year to put movies in theaters. You know, that's because they are trying to expand their brand that way. There's no reason to not go after things theatrically. They don't have to really put a lot in advertising. They've got the base, but this actually proves that they should put money in advertising, because if no one knows that Red Notice was in theaters this weekend and no one goes to go see it, what does that tell you about the reach of The Rock, the reach of Ryan Reynolds, the reach of Gal Gadot? This goes back to that Anthony Mackie conversation, right? That statement that he made a couple years ago at that Comic-Con, talking about how there are no movie stars anymore. It's just actors who are playing roles. The roles are what are important, the characters, not the person behind them.
So would you say maybe Hobbs himself might be what would be attractive, not The Rock himself?
Yes, they want in this case with Vin Diesel, what they want is him to come back.
He said it that no one else can play it.
No one else can play him, which is true. Yeah, and they want him to come back.
Nobody else can play Hobbs like you can. So
yeah,
he's like they're interested in getting him back because of the character.
They don't want to recast him, but and I don't think they would recast him
because he's like this big star. They're wanting him just for this character. So it kind of shows you that
But I was gonna ask too real quick about this, the box office. I don't know if you noticed, but like the Eternals, right? Opening weekend worldwide was like 161, 162. It's like the second biggest behind Fast 9. Does that contribute anywhere at all too? Where it's like,
I think so.
It's like, hey, you know, we like Fast. What was it? Fast 9 or what? It's Fast 9, right?
Fast 9.
Yeah, like it kind of just came and went. Kind of just like it obviously did very well worldwide, but I feel like it kind of came out with like a whimper. You know, people watched it and talked about it. Obviously, it was big when it first came out, but like, you know, it wasn't regarded as like people really didn't like that one. It was one of the more poorer received movies in the franchise.
I actually haven't seen Fast 9 yet, and I'm a huge Fast and Furious fan. Like, and I've seen all. Well, the only one I didn't see, like I guess you could say right off the bat, was Tokyo Drift. I actually waited until right before Fast 6 came out to watch Tokyo Drift. And I kicked myself in the ass because I actually really liked Tokyo Drift. Because Justin Lin is the shit and did a great job, which is, I don't know why I still haven't seen Fast 9 yet, but maybe it's just the ridiculousness of it all. Maybe it's getting to be a bit too much. I heard
that it jumped the shark to a way where it's like, they don't even try to make it believable, or they treat the movie like it's a cartoon. Where it's just like,
look at Hobbs and Shaw. You know,
true, but apparently
it goes Black Superman.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Well, that movie I thought was going to do $1 billion and it didn't. It only did like 750 or something. Which it's not saying it's not profitable. It's definitely profitable. But the movie, looking at and I have done this on this show multiple times. I have brought up how much The Rock has actually brought in on his own endeavors and how they always pale in comparison to when he's in an ensemble. The only time that's really not an issue is looking at Hobbs and Shaw, but that's a spin-off of a very popular mega franchise, which, by the way, hit its first $1 billion in the box office, and a movie he was only in for like 5 minutes. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, it's like, you know, the people always come to me, this is what I'm trying to say, is like, you can look at Red Notice, a movie that he's been promoting heavily, and if his fans on his social media platforms are unaware of this, that is devastating to his brand. So that's why right now I'm thinking Vin Diesel comes out today and he's not going to sit there and say, hey, your biggest movie of the year it kind of crashed and burned in theaters, but we want you to come back, you know, because here's the thing is The Rock needs them as much as they need him. And anyone out there who tries to argue otherwise, I'm sure I'll show him Red Notice opening weekend numbers.
Yeah. What I'll say is, to me, it seems like Vin Diesel had a come to Jesus moment in his brain where it's like, we work better together than we do apart.
Yeah.
We could, like Fast 10, we could make all the money in the world if we really nail this movie and make it the best possible finale to the franchise possible. But it's only possible if we work together. So let's remind people why people liked these movies in the first place and why they liked you as a movie star. I think is his goal.
And honestly, Justin Lin is going to be a big factor in that as well. But I do think like the producing team, because at this point, the Fast movies are overseen by Vin Diesel. It's his baby, obviously. And it's unfortunate that Paul Walker is not around to kind of kick in his 2 cents, because I think he'd kind of be a good mediator, if I'm being honest with you. And but I do feel like, I think The Rock, you know, again, this is going to boil down to the fact that Black Adam has to deliver.
Yeah,
If
I think
Black Adam,
I think that if Red Notice doesn't connect digitally on Netflix, like let's say it's not the
no,
number
it
one
will, it
movie.
will, it will. It's gonna crack. Like I'm calling it right now. 90+ million homes are going to be watching it opening weekend. All right,
yeah.
like, I mean, I'll say that now, and that's going to be then that's above Army of Thieves. That's above Army of the Dead. Probably even above Harder They Fall, which I hear is really good. But I
I
think
guess
it
my point
is.
is, I feel like there's more pressure on that movie to deliver. I guess.
It is. And the thing, but the fact that they did a red carpet premiere, it went to theaters, and it crashed and it burned, to the point of where it's like, holy shit, you know what I mean? That's not the best, and the reviews are not very good on it.
You think it's just an
And
issue with the marketing? Because I'll be honest, we've watched some of the trailers here before live, and I was very unimpressed. They weren't very good trailers. Like maybe the movie's good, but the trailers did not do a very good job.
I think the
marketing movie.
trailers were fine. I think the first trailer that they put out was really good, 'cause I think we watched it live at, like, right as it dropped.
Yeah, that's the problem though. It dropped like when did it drop? 2 in the
Like
morning.
2 in the
2
morning,
a.m.
yeah.
And
It's
then
like,
they
why would you
deleted
do
it
that?
and then released I think it was a mistake that they like.
They probably dropped it at the wrong. I think it dropped
Yeah.
midnight my time, which is always kind of weird to do.
Right.
But even right now, looking at my local theater, Red Notice is playing 5 showings a day. It is a traditional release. Who knows how long it's going to be running? But I mean, and then the Eternals is running, oh my God, like 12 times a day. You know,
Eternals is like pretty much every like.
but that's the Marvel movie. But again, I'm telling you, it's like everyone always tells me, I always get all this shit from everybody. The Rock is the biggest star in the world. He's the biggest movie star in the world, all this stuff. And it's like, couldn't even crack 500,000, $200,000 in its opening weekend. I mean, dude, Army of the Dead did $780,000 that we know of, right? Like, that is just Zack Snyder and his fan base that pushed that movie.
Do you think it's potentially like, because what did Army of the Dead open against? Maybe it's an issue where if it goes up
Army of the
against a
Dead
Marvel movie-
opened in May. I forget what it opened against.
It was like, I think it was Memorial Day. That's what I'm saying though. Like,
It wasn't Memorial Day. It was before Memorial Day. It was
okay,
It was
it
like
was the week before. I think it was
it's
the week
like
before.
yeah. So it opened up. I forget what it opened up against, but it's like
Well, it
this
wasn't going up against a Marvel movie opening weekend though. I think
no,
Black Widow was
and
like
that's
a
true,
second
and
or
that's
third
true,
weekend
and that's
release.
really dumb. That's really dumb of Cinemark to drop it in the opening weekend of a Marvel movie. You know, I mean, it's like it's one thing if it's like a dumb comedy, right? Like it's one thing if it's a dumb Seth
Right,
Rogen comedy
right.
going up against Endgame, you know, where like that pulls in 200 million, Captain Marvel pulls in 10 million, and then that comedy brings in like $2 million. That's one thing. This is The Rock, Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds. This is not Seth Rogen and Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, this is a movie treated a little better.
This is a movie. This is a fucking movie. This isn't no, pissy shit. And the fact that ended up crashing and burning what it did, that's what I'm talking about here. So anyone out there is always like, The Rock. I'm not saying the guy is not talented. He's not a good entertainer. He absolutely is. But this is a fucking blow, man. This is a blow. If you can't put butts in seats when you're the number one entertainer in the world, what does that tell you? When you're backed up by Deadpool and Wonder Woman, what does that tell you?
Well, it's also funny because the biggest thing coming from this movie was the interview where The Rock said that he's talking to Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds saying we want to make a Marvel DC crossover movie happen. That's
Yeah.
your biggest headline coming to the red carpet.
Yeah, that's true, right? Yeah.
And like it still has to do with DC stuff. So it's like the biggest thing they have is comic book movies to market.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the producer talked about they're working on Black Adam spinoffs, so they're thinking about
Black Adam
doing,
spin-offs, and then they're like, oh, Wonder Woman versus Black Adam, and then they're like,
which is really funny. Remember, everyone's like, we want Black Adam versus Superman. Oh, you're more likely going to get Black Adam versus Wonder Woman. Calm down there, kiddies.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's like that's the person that they think is on top of the hierarchy. Okay.
The hierarchy of power, the DC
almost-
universe is
almost
going
like
to change.
It's
Is it
almost
though?
like the Snyderverse is not a thing anymore. And
It's not a thing.
And that The Rock was never the savior people thought he was.
All I said,
We got this covered. Screw you guys.
they did. But all right, I mean, look, here's the thing. I want to see Red Notice. I hope it's a really good movie. Some of these Netflix movies are kind of hit or miss. Like I thought Six Underground being a Michael Bay directed, Ryan Reynolds starring, Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese written movie, the guys behind Deadpool and Zombieland, was going to be like, that was a recipe for success. And that movie was cynical and bitter and not fun. And Netflix said like, we're not moving forward with this franchise. And I was like, yeah, I watched it one time. I had no desire to ever watch it again. When I was actually out there hyping it up, I made videos about why I was excited to see that movie.
I
This
was
is my,
excited to see it too, and then
it was bad.
It disappointed me.
It
so
was,
much.
yeah, like it was a TV show that they cut down to a movie. Let's be fair. It was
Yeah.
Same thing Zombieland did. Zombieland was a TV series that they pitched as a series, and they chopped it down into being a movie, and it worked. This was the same thing. It was like the whole first season of a TV show, but it was so bad. It was so cynical, and it just wasn't entertaining. I'm
they should've
don't this is
spent
at
that
least
20 minutes
entertaining.
movies with that one.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on this one. Obviously, why don't we talk about the Eternal stuff here? But let me quickly get to a couple super chats here, because H Barts, man, says here, Eternals is a masterpiece, no joke. Is that why you've been sunsetting my chat recently, H Barts? You've been too embarrassed to come on in and tell me what you really think. I love you, buddy. You know I love you.
I think the word masterpiece is a bit extreme. I admire the passion for it, but I wouldn't call it a masterpiece.
I still need to see it. I'm hoping to see it this week. Anyway,
see like Marvel movies like opening day. It's just
you know what? This week has been so off for me in a number of ways. I just couldn't get to it. Jess here for $5. Thank you, buddy. Says Netflix does not know how to advertise. They rely too heavily on word of mouth. Plus, why see it in theaters when you can stream it? Well, the same thing keeps said about Dune. You could have gone and seen Dune and just watched it at home. I did watch it at home.
With Netflix, like I was having this conversation with someone on Twitter, is like that they only do their marketing like 1 or 2 weeks ahead of the release of the movie. Like they do rely on word of mouth.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say in terms of Dune as well, one's an established franchise IP versus something that's wholly original. There's no connection to anything with Red Notice. It's like, oh, it's an action comedy movie, spy movie.
It's like
3 actors that are famous.
And Indiana Jones combined.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Everything was going for Red Notice to be a big hit in theaters. And I was secretly hoping it was going to at least like get like maybe 15, 20 million, because then that would be like, whoa, holy shit, that's big numbers for Netflix. And that's a big deal. Unfortunately though, that simply did not happen. Thank you for that one, Jess. We got Rational Skeptic here with 2 bones. Says Vin Diesel wants to be Black Bolt in Inhumans. You know what? Maybe.
Good luck with that happening, because I don't think Inhumans is ever going to happen.
Oh wait, I can't talk. So
yeah. There you go. I would rather another Riddick.
Yeah,
I want another Riddick.
Sadly, I think the Inhumans in the MCU are probably dead for a while. Which is a shame, because I thought Miss Marvel was going to bring them back and reboot them, but
I don't. Even though it's been 4 years since that terrible last television show. 4 years. The lasting damage to Inhumans is bad.
Yeah.
It's
they did have an event in the comics where they killed them all off, so they're still dead, I think.
Yeah, but RJ, that's assuming people read the comics.
That is true. I'm just saying, it feels like Marvel, like every division of Marvel wants to ignore that.
Inhumans is 2 things: Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Inhumans, the TV miniseries, and both of them butchered Inhumans as a concept. So it's like,
yeah, they didn't even nail the aspect of what the Inhumans actually are. So it's like, it's not really.
Well, you can blame Ike Perlmutter and Jeff Loeb for that, and neither one are really involved anymore.
Don't forget Scott Buck.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen. Yeah, we all know about Scott Buck. Scott Buck, I know everyone's like Ike Perlmutter and Jeff Loeb, and I'm all like, look, both of those guys gave us the Netflix shows. So there's that. But then you're like, but Scott Buck did the first season of Iron Fist, and you're like, okay, yeah, all right. And then you gave him Inhumans, where you just like wanting it to fail. Never mind the $70 million investment that IMAX put into it.
What I wanted was just to steal it from Feige, because Feige,
but I mean, and then they went to IMAX, and they got IMAX to invest $70 million to put the first 2 episodes.
And did they also put they did the first 2 episodes on theaters, right? Like for like a week.
Yes, yeah. I would have loved to have seen, like, let's say Feige still had to make the Inhumans movie. I would have loved to have seen what he would have done with that movie, because it seems like he never really wanted to make it.
You're gonna get it with X-Men, so that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get, and then look, if they're gonna change up Miss Marvel, and her origin powers, I mean, I think it's like I just have a feeling it's going to be tied into an Infinity Stone rather than the Tartargen, right? Like, and I know because,
God, please,
and I say
no.
that, and I say that because of
Captain
Captain Marvel with the Tesseract, and then
Right.
also, whatever, maybe Scarlet Witch was also the Mind Stone. I think
Yeah,
that's
so
what
Yeah.
unlocked
technically
her
you could
power.
say it's a Mind Stone.
You can say it's the
power,
Mind Stone, and then also you had, but like again, Tiana Paris, Monica
Oh
Rambeau.
God, please don't tell me it's gonna be the Power Stone because it's purple. Oh
I have a
no.
feeling. Well, no, I have a feeling it's not going to be the power. It might be. It could also be a reality stone. You know, because maybe she's. I don't know. Either way, it's going to be tied
This
in.
is
It's going to
very
be tied
scary.
into the Infinity Stones because that's the already pre-established way of getting
Of the
powers.
Marvels.
But, buddy, you know what? And this is another thought. I haven't seen Eternals, so I'm basing this simply off of the trailer. And they talk about how the radiation from everyone coming back brought back the deviants, right? Well, again, we talked about this even a while ago when if you look at the snaps on Earth, there were 3. There was the initial snap at the end of Infinity War, and then the 2 snaps at the end of Endgame. And that would have brought enough radiation along, with everyone coming, but that could be what ends. And again, I haven't seen the movie. So if this is mentioned, I don't know, but it's like, that could be what activates the Inhuman gene. That could be what activates it.
That is a great theory. I will just say the trailer has a bit of some misdirection.
Okay. So, okay. I mean, cause I know this movie's lore heavy, and that's one of the reasons why I'm excited to go see it, because I do like lore. And so getting into it's going to be a lot of fun. But really it's like, I'm thinking like that's maybe the only way. Cause on Shield, it was, oh, hey, we have all this, we're like all this chemical, these crystals that went into the ocean.
Fish oil.
Yeah. And that's what, released all the abilities in season 3 of the show and stuff. And it's like, all right, whatever. But then,
by the way, the energy you were talking about in the trailer, they say it starts the process called the emergence. The deviants coming back is something else. So just so you know.
Okay. Well, then, you know what? I don't know what the fuck's going on with that movie. But all right, I definitely want to see it. Drake here makes a great point. He says the thing with the Eternals is that you have to be prepared for a Marvel movie that barely references anything familiar. That's why critics bitched, which is really funny because they always complain about remakes and they want originality, and then they get it and they get upset. This proves you that no one can be happy.
One of those things where it's like, they also complain about the whole hero's journey / Marvel formula being in every single Marvel movie. And then once they don't really necessarily get that, they complain. It's like, they don't really know what they want.
Oh yeah. Well, that's another big part of it too. All right. And then H-Bart's here with $10, buddy. Thank you so much, man. It says, Matt knows I was not excited for it. I expected it to be awful. That is true. Every time we talked about Eternals leading into this movie, H-Barts would be in the chat talking shit about sunsets every single night. So yeah, if he liked it, that's definitely something there. But all right, so why don't we get into this Eternals review that is oof today.
Oh boy, yeah, the controversial subject.
Oh boy. Now the thing to consider about the Eternals is that the movie opened up with 9.5 on Thursday night, and it did really, really, really well to a $71 million debut here in the States.
Matt, that's the lowest MCU opening since
anime. I know there was going to end up being like, are there videos on that? Are there videos on that?
Yes, there already
are. Okay. I only had so much. I can only do so much today. I can only handle so much nonsense.
We can watch Grace's movie math later if you want.
Yeah, okay, fine.
She compares Chloe Zhao to being Marvel's version of Zack Snyder.
I'm not going. I do want to kind of get into that whole.
Eternals is Marvel's Batman versus Superman.
Zack Snyder is the blueprint. Oh my god.
That was trending today, by the way.
That was trending yesterday too, because it was, everyone's like, see guys, look, I love Zack Snyder, but my god, it's like he didn't invent everything. They deconstructed it well, and it took a long time for people to catch on that maybe this is a good point. And look, get him the justification and the validation. But my god, the amount of people who would gladly choke to death on his wang is just insane to me. But because there's a lot of dick riders out there. So one of the things I thought was interesting was this particular Tyrone Magnus interview. Hold on here. Rational says here, what do you think of the Cameron Passion video? We're gonna talk about that one. We're gonna talk about that. because we got a little bit to talk about Cameron Pasha tonight as well. But so I saw some people having a conversation about what Tyrone here is saying.
Yeah,
about
he's
Eternals.
all over social media and Twitter. People are really upset
Yeah,
with them.
and look, I understand this movie ain't for everybody. All right, not every movie is. You can have your opinion, you can voice it, but the way that he actually does it in the first, like, a little bit of this review, and it's only a short review.
Yeah, it's like 6 minutes or something.
You know for a fact that this guy absolutely wanted to come out and say other things, or he was clearly saying other things that just weren't on camera. So why don't we take a look here at just the first little bit of this, just to give you guys like an idea of how utterly dumb Tyrone Magnus is.
Well. How's everybody doing? How are you? Is everybody good? Family good? That's great. Let's get it on, shall we, with Tyrone Magnus's movie review of Eternals. Can't wait to see the Screen Junkies video on that. So
you can react to it?
It's woke. Yeah, well, let's start out with that. There's woke. There's a part I had to close my eyes on because I wasn't ready for none of that. It's not part of my lifestyle, and well, it may be okay. That's fine. Wasn't ready for that.
Oh my god!
What was
Okay,
he ready for?
Isn't it like a 5 spoiler alert, by the way? Just a spoiler alert here.
Yeah.
Isn't it like a 5-second bit of two dudes kissing?
So what happens is that the Eternals are trying to assemble their team. They go to Phastos. They see that Phastos has a family. He has a husband. He has a child. They have some banter back and forth, and Phastos agrees to go help them with the emerging threat that's happening. So he tucks his kid into bed as a song plays, and he gives his husband a goodbye kiss, and he walks out into the distance with the rest of the Eternals. That's it. That is basically the entire gay subplot of the movie.
Well, what do you know?
Yeah. That's apparently
it. It's literally a 5-second kiss.
Guys.
Yeah, it's a 5-second kiss.
It's just like
for 5
kiss on the lips. It goes for like 5 to 10 seconds, and then they cut to him walking with the rest of them.
The Protoss here says the black mechanics guy kissed his boyfriend for no reason. Like, yeah, you know what? If there's love, you kiss for love.
Well, just for context, Phastos doesn't know if he's going to see his family again because the threat is world ending. Right.
Okay.
So it's like a goodbye in terms of I have to go do this. I don't know if we're going to see each other again, basically.
Yeah. So I mean, that's really about it. Now the thing is, the rest of the review is I mean, he doesn't really say anything. Like I sat down, I watched this thing. The first 47 seconds is just, the first thing he says is it's woke. Well, without really giving any context about, I don't know, diversity or representation. But immediately like, oh, I couldn't look at that. I couldn't look at two guys kissing. I can't see that at all. Like, that's just, it's like,
I see some people in the chat saying, well, maybe he's referring to the sex scene in the movie and it closes his eyes.
No.
It's a sex scene between Icarus and Cersei where they're naked and fucking each other on like some dirt rocks. Okay. It's not like it's pretty explicit, but it's not so bad. It's like, oh, I need to close my eyes. Oh my god,
Yeah,
it's like, no.
yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing there, right? I know You Do Suck Here says here, two guys kissing, stop everything. I know. Listen, if they would have like gone into a full on suck off fest, I could understand people being upset. Like, this doesn't really feel like it's in place here.
Right. There's like some goodbyes, like a goodbye sex scene,
like,
okay.
Give me 5 minutes, you guys. I just got to go pound this one. I can understand maybe a little bit on that. It's not necessarily for kids. If it's just a kiss goodbye.
Just the way he's talking, it's like what he's referring to.
Oh yeah. Like, ooh, ah. Right here. Let me just kind of like, and I showed this to RJ earlier because we're talking about this beforehand, and RJ's like, what happened to Tyrone Magnus? Like what happened to him that made him, that triggered him so much that gay superheroes that audiences have been waiting for, they've been asking for years, apparently was enough to get him to go, I won't see the movie again.
Is that what he says in the review?
Yeah, he says that. Did you see that little clip I put together, that little 47 seconds?
Oh, no, I don't think I did. No.
I put it in the private chat. Here, I'll just, because I was sent, I saw this and then I quickly edited it together and a little jokey thing. I'll just play it for you guys here. It's if it loads. Come on, you son of a bitch, StreamYard, load.
Come on, StreamYard.
Work, damn you, work. It's like 6 megabytes.
Yeah. By the way, I checked the video. It has like 1.6K dislikes.
Yeah, I know he does. But here, check. This is the whole thing summarized.
Let's get it on, shall we, with Tyrone Magnus's movie review of Eternal. It's woke. Yeah, well, let's start out with that. There's woke. There's a part I had to close my eyes on because I wasn't ready for none of that. Close my eyes on because I wasn't ready for none of that. It's not part of my lifestyle. Yeah, wasn't ready for that. They're breaking down walls and barriers. They're breaking down walls and barriers. Yeah, it's alright. I'll never, like I said, I'll never watch it again. That, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, that's about.
Wow.
I mean,
Like it's clear what he was meaning because he says it's not part of his lifestyle.
yeah. Oh, you can totally sit there and you can pinpoint out exactly what he's trying to say.
Yeah, because you can say like if he was talking about the Icarus Cersei thing, then fine. But then he clearly states the point that it's not part of
Well,
the lifestyle.
the fact that he opens with his review saying, "Well, first off, it's woke." Like,
right,
come on.
that too. It's like, okay, you know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah. Hold on. Fourth here says, if he says it's woke with no context, how do you know he's referring to The Kiss? Even critics say this movie just checks off boxes. Because you know he says it's a lifestyle. We just mentioned that.
Yeah,
it's not my
he
lifestyle.
says it's not my lifestyle.
What about that wouldn't be your lifestyle there, buddy? You know,
Right.
What about that wouldn't be your lifestyle? What about that, like you're dancing around just wanting to say what it is. It's not hard. Just say it. Just say you don't like the fact that there are 2 gay guys in this movie. And look, if that's your opinion, fucking own up to your opinion. How about that shit, right? Mr. Tyrone, I call it like it is. Look, the thing is, Tyrone Magnus is the kind of guy who literally will push fake news all the fucking time, right? He pushes fake news constantly. He blocked me on Twitter when I called him out for that too. I'm just like, hey man, this is not a real news story. This is not real. This is fake. And he's like, block. Yeah, let me tell you guys what exactly made Tyrone Magnus the person that he is. So back in 2015, there's a YouTuber by the name of Grade A Under A who made this video right here.
On that.
Oh, huge. Yeah, this is an oldie. And he had a video about reaction videos because at the time, reaction videos were kind of like the big rage.
They were the biggest thing on the platform.
They were huge. And it was considered content theft by many creators because there was no real commentary, no criticism, no critique, or no education. So it doesn't necessarily fall into the realm of fair use. And that's all Tyrone Magnus did. He just sits there and he watches somebody else's thing. And that ended up, he was the biggest of the big on that front. But when Grade A Under A put out that video, YouTube community responded. And it was the way they agreed with Grade A Under A. They absolutely agreed with him. And YouTube agreed with him. And when YouTube agreed with him, they sat there and they changed the algorithm. So people like Tyrone Magnus all of a sudden just plummeted in views. If you look at his channel right now, he's got I think he's got 1.92, what is it? 1.92 million subscribers. And his channel is just not pulling in like, look,
the views are considerably down.
They're not like, I'm not saying that they're bad. They're way better than mine 100%. I'm not even arguing against that. But from what he used to make, from what he used to actually pull in, he's not pulling any of that in anymore. Bringing up here his social blade. If you just look at this here, this is over the course of the past 2 weeks. We can see from October 25th to
10K sub dip. Jesus.
10K sub dip, right? Went from 1.92 to 1.91. And that was today, by the way. And maybe that was because of his review. He's got a lot of people not liking that review. And so he dipped off. But look, he's pulling in an average of 200,000 views a day, which is not bad. I mean, that's pretty good, but he's got nearly 2 million views. So that is 10% of his audience at most are watching him on a day-to-day basis. 10% of his audience. That's it. And that's not good for a channel as old as his is, for a person who was as relevant as he was. And I'm not saying that the guy doesn't pull in views. I'm saying at this point, this is literally a dude who doesn't care anymore and will literally just say whatever, do whatever, because he knows that he's just holding on to something here.
Well, I guess that's why I'm just so confused, because I'm like, you think you would know better? Because when you openly say things in your review the way you do, you have to know how it's going to come across, right?
You'd like to think that's the case here. You'd like to think that's the case, but he also probably doesn't really care. Look, I'll show you this here. This is looking at his recent videos. Again, so 2 hours ago,
yeah.
2 million sub channel, RJ. Like, take that into consideration.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. The new poster, okay, 7,300 views. 5 hours ago, try not to laugh. American Dad Roger is promiscuous. Like, all right, what the hell, 10,000 views. His Batman synopsis, 26,000. I mean, he's not really cracking out more than 20 to 27,000. Right. This one here, try not to laugh cutaway compilation. All he's doing is just watching your reaction to boob. Yeah. Right.
I'm gonna just be honest, like, outside of the movie.
Oh, that got wow, that blew up quite a bit from the last time I saw it.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, like, outside of like the big movie trailer reactions, it's like I just don't really care to watch this. Like even the Morbius trailer, it's like, okay.
But look at this one here, Spider-Man No Way Home post scene, reaction, right? Possibly revealed. It's literally in the thumbnail.
Yeah, he's watching like theory stuff, like theory videos, or like, oh
no, but then he went and he put it in the damn thumbnail.
Yeah.
So and that one only got 38,000 views. Again, let me look at this here. Not a lot of the stuff is pulling in. The Morbius the reaction, that 63,000, and he may not even be able to claim that to monetize that because of the way that Sony operates. That's what I'm talking about here. This is his stuff is not pulling in what it used to. His trailer reactions are what seems to be doing the best. And so, at this point, it kind of looks like he's just coming on in and doing what he can to stay, I guess, a little bit relevant. But
yeah. It's just a shame that he's kind of gone down the road that he has, because again, I don't really care too much about Tyrone Magnus, but when you have a platform as large as yours and you're literally saying something like that, where it's like, I had to close my eyes during this scene for my lifestyle.
Like, what are you? What are you, 5 years old? I mean, when I was a kid, we'd watch if people made out if people made out in a movie, my friend's mom would go and cover your eyes, children, and we're like, they're just making out. Like, it's not a big deal.
Like 5-year-olds do. Okay, like.
Yeah, well, then again, if you look into his audiences, I mean, their mentality is about that age, if you want my honest opinion. Because all he did is react. There's not a lot of intelligence there in regards to how he creates content. It's just like, sit back and let me just watch something without even giving any kind of accurate critique to it. It is what it is. But that's why
it's like, if you really feel that way, own up to it. To say, nah,
own your opinion.
I wasn't comfortable with that. It felt a little weird.
Yeah, just like, I didn't like that there were gay people in the movie. Now, Agent Josh here for $2 says, first Marvel to have sex. Yeah, that is true. First sex scene shot for a Marvel movie.
Iron Man, yeah, the first Iron Man.
Well, I mean,
it was pretty explicit. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Wait, with him and Leslie Bibb? Yeah, they could have gotten a bit more explicit for my taste, to be honest with you, because I think Leslie Bibb is hot, so they could have done that. But then again, I mean, if you want to see like Marvel content and like sex, go watch the first season of Jessica Jones.
Well, yeah, that's not really MCU kind.
Well, it might be if you believe the leaks that are coming out of Spider-Man No Way Home. You don't quite know yet. All I'm saying is, like, they've done the adult stuff before. I'm glad it's in this movie. But look, here's the thing. Anyone who talks about, like, they're upset about the sex stuff, but they're completely okay with Baron Zemo literally drowning a guy in the opening 5 minutes of Civil War.
It's because we as Americans, we can tolerate a lot of violence when it comes to sexual content, though. We act like prudes.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, so...
We live in kindergarten, so we can't handle sex.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think what was that line from South Park? You can show all the violence you want, just no bad words, from South Park the movie.
Oh yeah.
That was the whole thing there. McLeod here says going back to Mr. Tyrone Magnus, Says he would sometimes say at the end of his videos to the effect of, post comments down below if you don't like my review/opinions, then you can kiss my black ass. Well, I mean, that's
I mean, the way he covered that Last of Us 2 situation was... Oh, boy.
I actually didn't see any of that.
It was pretty bad. He openly talked about some of the trans stuff with Abby, and it was just...
But Abby's not even trans!
He bought into that, though, I
But
believe.
Abby's like, I mean, like, that's the thing, man. It's like, my fucking God. That's the whole point. This is why these people are always lying to you. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is like the whole thing. All of these guys, man, it's just, they don't understand shit. They don't understand anything. They don't know how anything is made. They look at it and they react to it like a bunch of mindless morons. And it's just like, they're just monkeys throwing poo at each other at this point. And like, it's so weird that is the messaging that gets through, you know? And then that
wasn't even true because it was just a meme. People made that a meme because the way her muscles looked and the way she looked physically.
I thought she was trans when I first saw the leaked images.
I didn't. Why would I make that assumption right away?
I mean, because like I thought like it was, you know, the very muscular build and the way that she has very masculine facial features, you know, and I thought that might have been what they were going for, which I was fine with. And because what it would tell me is that they wouldn't have had HRT in the apocalypse. So that would have been the angle that Neil Druckmann was aiming for. So if she was trans, she couldn't have gone through the hormones replacement therapy, nor could she have gone through a gender reassignment surgery, because it wouldn't have been, I don't know, necessary or available in the apocalypse. You know what I mean? So I thought that's what they were going for. And that was wrong. And then everyone was like, that sex scene really bothered a lot of people, apparently. It's like, come on, y'all jerked off to worse. All right, let's be fair.
That sex scene was really bad, though.
It's like, show me the worst thing you masturbated to, and I guarantee you it still ain't as bad as that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we get a debate about Last was 2 any day, but yeah, that sex scene was bad. I'm sorry, I have to agree with the people that like that game. That sex scene was very.
I don't think it was meant to be stimulating. I don't think it was meant.
I'm not saying it was meant to. I'm saying like no matter what way you look at it, it felt awkward, unearned, and just random.
Yeah, well, that can happen sometimes. You know, there's a lot of weird shit.
There's just no story reason for it to happen, I guess.
Okay, that makes sense. But anyway, Tyrone Magnus is a moron, and I would gladly debate him and remind him he's a moron. So, you know, because that's really, if he says anything about this keeps saying grade A under A. That's it. Because that's like, dude, again, have whatever opinion you want. Own the opinion. At least, you know, as much as I dislike Ryan Kennel, he at least owns his shitty opinions. And that's something. That is something. That's more respectable than this.
He acts like, you know, Tyrone McGinnis, he's like a first, second grader. Well, Ryan was like a third or fourth grader. He's
like a fifth grader, you know, the kid that like first discovered like swear words.
Right.
Doesn't know how to use them properly.
It's like the fourth, fifth grade that's kind of owning up to their things that they did in third grade, but at the same time just like, screw it, I'm going to continue this attitude.
Yeah.
Type thing. It's like, oh my God.
All right. I'm just saying it is all craziness, but let's get into some super chats here. Cause I know I missed a couple here. H-Barts with another 2 bones. Thanks, buddy. Talking about the Eternals, says the standalone aspect of the movie was good. For some reason, I thought you were going to sit there and say standalone complex, because I was at Best Buy today and I saw Ghost in the Shell. That was there, but thank you very much for that one, buddy. And then we got Jess here with another $2, says, oh God, I bought my nephew the Icarus and Cersei figs. Holy shit, buddy.
No.
Oh no. Are they gonna fuck on a rock?
Are they gonna be like Toy Story and come alive and do what they did in the movie?
you know, Mad TV had a great little gag about that when the Toy Story first opened. They had a spoof called Sex Toy Story. And Buzz was just a dildo with a spaceman helmet on. It's an oldie. It's like, dude, the first season of Mad TV is great. And it's as far as I know, that's the only season they ever released on home video. And I have it.
Wow.
I found it at GameStop used for like $7. And I was like, you are coming home with me. Because I love that first season of Mad TV. And then let me just okay. And we got H-Barts here with another $5. Thank you, man. Says the on-location shooting was nice since you could tell it was real. So the sunsets were real is what you're trying to tell me.
It was a very nice looking movie.
It's very nice. You know, you look out over the skyline, over the sunset, and you could just imagine a woman in an RV driving along it to go to her Amazon seasonal job. And you're like, that's a nomad story I want to see. Frances McDormand confirmed for Marvel Cinema.
Oh my god! Like, because like it's like this whole conversation where like Frances McDormand and Chloe Zhao have like this relationship. Like people are like, oh, is she gonna be in Eternals 2 or whatever the sequel to this movie will be? And people are like, oh yeah, she might be. And I was like, that'll be interesting to see if Frances McDormand and Chloe Zhao do work together again. Just in general, not as a Marvel movie, but just in general, because they clearly got it a lot of money and awards for that movie together.
Yeah,
So-
well, they did. And the thing is, and the thing is, I don't think any of that mattered here.
Yeah,
I thought it would. I honestly thought that it would matter here, but it didn't matter here at all.
exactly. I thought it would push people to like go and see it because it's Chloe Zhao and because of Nomadland and Ryder, and because of the awards she got for Nomadland. But yeah, it just seems like another one of those. It's a Marvel movie, people gonna see it because it's Marvel, not because of a director.
Yeah. Oh, well, the thing is, it's like, remember back in 2018, Black Panther came out. The movie did very well.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then the next month you had the Oscars, which was coming off of a restructuring after the Oscars So White campaign. And they were like, well, let's do the most popular movie award. Why don't we do best most popular movie? And then everyone in the trades was like, just give it to Black Panther because we know you want to. Like,
Right.
we know that's what you're
They're
aiming
gonna
it for.
bring that back eventually. No,
Oh
they're
yeah.
not.
Oh, they are. But the thing is though, so look, Kevin Feige looked at the success that Black Panther had on the award circuit, at least, recognition, I should say.
Right.
And then he was probably thinking to himself, like, how do I get a movie to get picked up to get greenlit by, to tell Disney I'm making it and then push it for the Oscar category. And that's effectively what Eternals is. Eternals is Marvel's first real attempt at Oscar gold. Like that's what it's designed
also
for.
The first conceived pitch from not being under Perlmutter,
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
Enosh, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Enosh?
What's up, Enosh?
ladies and gentlemen?
I didn't think you were going to be coming on. I thought you were going to be doing your own thing tonight.
You know what? I was going to, and then I was really exhausted. And was like, I don't want to put anything together.
Good idea. I do that all the time.
So I'm just going to jump on here. I haven't been over here in a while. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about the Tyrone Magnus thing. that
yes, I
happened.
know. I was listening. I was putting up some GI Joe toys while I was listening to you guys talk about the Magnus one.
Yeah, the Magnum idiot.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure you. I think you kind of mentioned in our private group chat you were not a fan of his comments.
No, because I think it's stupid. I agree. I agree with what Matt said. What are we like, little kids? Like, ooh, I don't want to see two guys kiss. Look, if you're a heterosexual male who's not into that, it's actually all right to say like, okay, maybe I don't feel comfortable seeing that, but to act that way about it, where it's like, ooh, oh, to act like, just like that is,
Yeah.
it's really pathetic. Really. It really shows that you don't have a lot of confidence in your own self and your own feelings about, sex or,
I mean, his review
Whatever.
literally opened with, "It's woke."
It's
There's
woke.
a couple
Yeah,
woke
I
things.
Yeah.
know,
Oh, it's
and that-
woke. And
oh
then
my
no
God.
reference as to why it's woke.
Well,
Is it
that
like,
was not part of my
Well,
lifestyle.
no, because they
I do
never
not
have
like
that.
that.
yeah.
Not
Well,
part of my lifestyle.
they'll never actually say why it's woke. It's just
No.
it's woke. If it's got anything in it that's like that at all, it's just woke. It's not that, hey, people exist in the world, so
Right.
they should exist in entertainment as well. But we don't talk about that, but the way he handled it was really I mean,
I'm
it
just
was
not sure
pretty
why
pathetic.
you put that out publicly. I mean, was he not really going to expect a backlash? I mean, the way you word that, of course, we were going to misconstrue it to where it's like,
It's all about the
we take
clicks.
issue with this. I mean, I mentioned it says 1.7K dislikes on this review. It's like people there's mass exodus of
Yeah.
subscribers. I'm just like,
Yeah.
But
kinda
what
sense
you're
to
going to
look that
get
way.
is you're going to get the crowd of people that are going to defend it. Go, well, it's just his opinion.
Yeah.
It's a shit opinion. It's
Yeah,
a shit
it is.
opinion.
It
That's
is.
what it is. It's not like, yeah, fine. It's his opinion. But you know what? When you criticize a lot of other people who put out really terrible opinions on the internet, and there's no reason to, his opinion has nothing more than just, I hate gay people attached to it. That's it. That's it. You know, and as I know, Enosh and Johnny were discussing earlier tonight on their show 2 Cents on Nonsense, which I do recommend you guys check out if you haven't seen it yet. It's really good. And actually, it's what's inspiring like the next part of this particular stream tonight, because I was frustrated. And but no, they they're like, look, anything that they attack as being woke, these people attack as being woke, generally are either anti-LGBT or it's about a woman. And so the people, again, like Fandom Menace, Doomcock, all those guys, if you really look at the coded language that they put out there, it really is like, we just don't like people who aren't like us and or a certain way. And it's like, just come out and say it at this point. You know what I mean? If you don't believe cancel culture is real, or if you're, if you're afraid of cancel culture, then maybe, I don't know, don't say shitty things. Like, figure out a better argument rather than like, oh no, not my lifestyle. It's not for me. Woo, no, it's just like, no, everyone knows what you're trying to say there, buddy.
Well, then it's not for you. Like, then don't watch it. But here's the thing. Here's what I get sick of is hearing people complain about stuff like this. And they overemphasize it, because look, I was very vocal about the fact that I had absolutely no intention of even watching Eternals. Like, I just did not care. I didn't care about the characters.
I remember this.
I had no connection.
Ongoing weeks. It's like we're trying to convince him to care.
Exactly. And I was just like, I just don't give a crap. I didn't know. I didn't read the Eternals. I didn't know anything about the Eternals. And then Thursday night, my kids are like, Tiffany was gone. She's out of state. She was out of state to visit her family. That's my wife, for those who don't know. And so my boys were like, hey, we want to go see Eternals. And so they were all going to go see it anyways. And I was just like, well, you know what? Okay, screw it. I'll just go. Like, it's not going to kill me to go see the movie. And then I got there and I really loved the movie and I really liked the characters. And I was like, this is actually a really good movie. And you know what? Yeah, at some point, two guys kiss, but then I come home the next day and I'm doing like a stream about it. And I got some guy in my chat going, yeah, well, I heard there's a 10-minute gay sex scene. And I'm like, what?
I remember that.
I'm like, no,
there's a couple people. There's a couple people who said there's a couple people asking, is there a gay sex scene in this movie?
And then the dude was like, sent a super chat was like, yes, there is. And like,
yeah, exactly. I'm like, there's a 10-second kiss. Who the heck cares? I didn't even know they were gay until the guy, like, he's leaving home and he's like, bye, honey. Mwah, bye. Oh, who cares? Who cares?
Apparently Tyrone Magnus
I know
cares.
Because it's not part of his lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, in response though to people who've like said, well, if you just like, why do you care about what these people say if you just don't, if you don't like what they're saying, just don't watch them. The problem is that with some of these people like Tyrone, like the Doomcocks of the world, like whoever else, they literally look. I've kissed, protest. I've kissed friends of mine longer than that kiss, like guy friends longer than they did in that movie.
Longer than a smooch, they kissed for 3 minutes.
Right. They did not kiss for 3 minutes.
It was literally 10 seconds.
Sorry. Dalton's comment here. Eternals is the best TC movie so far.
Probably. But no, I'm just saying, like, the problem is like, you can't get away from those people. Like, so yeah, we're going to see these kinds of we're going to see this kind of content, or we're going to see these people show up in our threads. And like, I'm not subscribed to Doomcock, but yet Doomcock literally is always constant. And this is before I started doing videos.
For me, it's always Ryan Kinnell.
Ryan Kinnell. These guys, because they talk about the stuff that we do like, and they're larger on the platform, So
yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna get accused of like, why are you attacking people that are so much bigger than you? Because I don't like multiple reasons. Like, for one, in Tyrone's case, and I see the comments here. It's like, what, he can't like two guys not kissing? Like, I don't care. I don't care.
And I want to clarify too. I don't think any of us are like calling for him to be canceled or for him to like.
No, I'm not. No, not at all. I'm just. It was a bad take. It's a bad take. It's a so ass backwards take.
The way he without explaining it, the way he explained it is the reason why we're calling him out.
I mean, he could have just gone and said like it was, it made me feel so uncomfortable that my penis literally turned into a vagina. Like he could have made a comment like that. It would have been like he would have got where he was coming from, but it would have at least been a little bit funnier, right? But him just going like, it's woke, and
It's not
there's
part
some
of my
stuff there. I had to
lifestyle.
close
That's
my
the problem
eyes.
that I have with. That's the problem that I
Yeah,
have.
like,
It's just
it's
the way
the-
that he
it's-
said it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole like I had to close my eyes at this. It's not my lifestyle.
Like I said, if you're a heterosexual man, you're probably not, probably more than likely you're not going to be turned on by seeing something like that, and it may even like you may not enjoy that. You don't want to see that. You know what I mean? It's like I don't need to see that, but I'm not going to act like I'm 5 and just be like, oh, it's gross. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's all in the way that you react to it. It's all in the way that you treat other people, and to me,
Well, look, and again, I'm just criticizing him for the way he said it, and I think it's ridiculous in 2021 to still act like that shit. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so I grew up. My upbringing was, in Portland. I grew up in Oregon, very liberal state. Everyone knows Oregon as being very liberal, but outside of the major city, even though I grew up in a suburb of Portland, there was still a very large anti-LGBT contingent that was out here. Like, there was a big thing when I was in 5th grade about the school getting a book, Heather Has Two Mommies. That was a major issue. So growing up in the church, in my church, we were always told gay people were like, gay was a sin. And through that, it wasn't like, hate the sin, love the sinner. That wasn't even mentioned at all. It was just like gay is a sin, i.e. gay people are bad. And that was part of my upbringing. And that kept me very much in the dark for a number of years until I moved to Southern California and I started getting to know gay people. And guess what? They're awesome. Gay people are great. Everyone is, it's fun. Like this whole thing is a lot of people so I would assume in this case, probably his upbringing has something to do with it. But again, in 2021, if you are still bothered by that says more about you as a person than
Also,
it does what the presentation of it all.
Tyrone also brought it up while, like in the beginning, while we're talking about it, is that it also deals with like Black people in general are also not very like supportive of the LGBT community. Like they're very like critical of them. Going back to the whole Dave Chappelle thing, but then again, it's like also you have it's upbringing and it's the way he's surrounded with people who brought him up. And also, it's just like the community that he's in right now. It's not a very good one.
I'm just saying, I just find it, I get what you're trying to say. I can't speak to
Right.
that because I'm not African-American, nor am I LGBT. All I can say is it's like the way that he said it, exactly what he was trying to say. And I see people in the chat
Exactly.
that are trying to defend it, that are like, well, it's just his opinion. Or he told you that it's just not for him. Do you not like listen to it the same way? It's like it's like, ew, grody. Like, come on, man. Because that's what started the review. It's not where it went. That's what started it. And he didn't even tell you anything really about the movie in the entire 6.5 minute review. He even breaks off at one point about brand deals.
It's it's just again like elementary school student type vibe where he's like acting like a little kid who's in like 3rd or 2nd grade going to a movie, and ooh, there's a little kiss scene between like a high schooler, like whatever, but then instead of a high schooler, it's 2 men. It's like, ew. It's like, what? Like,
No, I get you, man. I get what you're trying to say there. But all right, let's keep it moving a little bit because I think we're kind of talking in circles, to be fair. Our point's been made about this. You can agree or disagree of it, and that's perfectly fine. It's all part of the conversation. I do want to get this one here, but Agent Josh says, talking about Tyrone, his review on the Suicide Squad made no sense. I didn't see it, so I don't know what he had to say on that one.
I'm sure it was probably full of idiocy. I just have a feeling.
Okay. Well, most likely. When Tyrone was pushing fake news and whatnot, and I called him on it, he blocked me. So, there's no integrity there, in my opinion. H Bart's here with $2 says, I was surprised you were in the post credit.
I know what he's talking about.
I don't know what that is. I haven't seen the movie yet. Is it a boulder? Is that a thing? Is it a boulder?
No. There's a character in the first post credit scene that some people said looks like you. So
Oh, well, hey, listen, if Marvel is looking to hire me, I will gladly take that paycheck. Like 100%. We got the AMXF channel. It says, Enosh, Batman and Robin is better than Batman Forever.
No,
Tell him, Enosh.
sorry, man.
How
no,
can
I
how
don't
can
agree with that.
Sorry,
Dude.
I don't know where that comes from, but
there
yeah.
are bad takes, and then there's whatever the fuck this is. All right, like I mean, I like Batman and Robin, but Batman Forever is amazing. So suck it.
Yeah, Batman Forever is really good, man.
The soundtrack alone puts it above Batman and Robin.
I mean, dude, tonight on 2 Cents alone, I said that I'd rather watch Superman 4 than Batman and Robin any day. So
Ooh.
yeah.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Oh yeah, I would go
I
that.
don't know if I'd go that far. I don't have a great memory of Superman 4. But I do agree with you that Superman 2, the Donner cut is not as good as the theatrical. It would have been, had they actually finished it.
Yep,
but
probably.
but it is iconic. Nonetheless. And then William here for $5. Thank you, William. Appreciate it, buddy. Says loved Eternals. Lots of risk taking and world building by a guy, Feige. Who clearly does not care about backlash. Well, I mean, he probably looks at it very similar to the same way. Well, I mean, you have the 53% or whatever on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's actually fallen to 48.
Oh, 48% now. But the movie pulled in $71 million in just domestic, and it did like another.
I would just say that even if you don't like the movie, it does not deserve 48%. I'm sorry. It really, really doesn't.
No.
I think it deserves at least at the 60s.
But what did I tell you, RJ? I told you. Seeing those low scores, I figured I was probably going to like it.
I heard that from a lot of people. Like I heard that from a lot of people.
I just knew it. I had this feeling that if it was an MCU movie that the critics hated, I would probably like it. And sure enough, yep. Just wasn't what
I do want to see it. I just got to find the time. Hopefully tomorrow. Tomorrow.
I think even when you see it, even if you don't love it, you'll say it's okay.
Well, I mean, I didn't care for Captain Marvel, but I would rewatch it.
Oh, it's so much better than Captain Marvel.
Like, okay,
halfway through. Look. I even joked at the beginning. This is how deep I was into, like, ready to not like the film. When the movie starts off, it actually starts off with like a this isn't like spoilers or anything.
Kind of like Star Wars in the beginning.
But it's kind of like Star Wars, and that was kind of where I was going with it, because it starts off with like a little header, right? That kind of like gives the backstory. Because look, this is like some deep stuff. When you're talking about Eternals, like you have
Celestial,
you can't just walk in and go, oh hey, cool, there's Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like it's not that. It's some deep stuff about the history of the planet, of the universe, all this stuff. And so it tells this little story. And I jokingly said, me, the huge Star Wars fan, next to my son Landon, I said, oh boy, that's not a good scene. That's not a good sign when you have to do like a prologue like that, where it has to be like this big written out thing of like, hey, all this stuff happened, millions of years ago and thousands of years ago and blah, blah, blah. And my son looks at me and goes, you mean like Star Wars, Dad? And I went, yeah, but that's different, because Star Wars is kind of like, hey, here's what's going on right now. Here's the action.
It's like the old serials. You're in the middle of the action.
Yeah. Where this movie was like that. But I'm telling you, man, you get like 10 minutes into this movie, and like even like, because I even see the people like talking about the representation, right? And I even joked with my wife about it. I said, yeah. I said, it does hit all. It felt like it was like
there's
doing
a character
the greatest,
meant to represent everyone.
It felt like it was doing the greatest hits of all representation. It did for a second at the beginning, because when you're first introduced to these people, you're like, okay, there's the Asian girl, there's, the white Anglo guy, there's the black guy, and oh yeah, he's gay. And then there's this person, there's the Hispanic person, there's the Indian guy. But then that's as far as it goes. It doesn't like linger on that. It doesn't make that the focus. And even then, because of when it takes place, you see that they're the seeds of all beings on the planet. So it makes sense, but they don't make it that thing where they could have very well made it that thing where it was just, obnoxiously, representation. Because I am not a fan of just obnoxious, in your face, trying to be politically correct, trying to just check all the boxes political correctness and representation or
Yeah,
whatever.
the
I
cheat
just feel
code
like
stuff where it feels unearned. Yeah.
if it makes sense with the story, I'm all for it. But it's got to make sense, and I felt like this one really made sense, and I loved it. I loved it, and I mean, I literally walked out going, sure, there's always nitpicks that you have about a film, but I really like this film. So
yeah, and that's all you can really ask. It boils down to, are you entertained? I mean, and that's basically what it ends up boiling itself down to. Again, I do want to see it. It's on my, it's a Marvel movie. I still have to see it. And I don't want to miss it. And the thing is, I wasn't excited, but people talking about it are kind of getting me a little bit hyped up. And that's a great thing about the discussion is like, hey, there's going to be some things there. I mean, I've talked a little bit recently about what I call the leak economy. And like the leak economy is, if you look at like, let's say Venom 2 had a $40 million tracking for its opening weekend before the fan screening. Then the ending, like the post-credit scene leaked out, and all of a sudden the hype surrounding that shot it from 40 million to 80 million, and then I think it ended up at 90 million. So it just, because of that connection, because of that leak, then you have the Eternals, same kind of thing, where it's the Harry, I don't want to say what it is, but you have like the Variety reporter tweeting out the first post-credit scene. And then even tonight, Charlie from Emergency Awesome posted a video with that image on the thumbnail and what it was in the title. And I had no idea. I was scrolling through and I see it and I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, it's been 2 days. Like, yeah, do I know that it's already there? Yes. Do I know what it is? Yes. But that's because this is what I do. But not everyone, this guy's got like 3 million subs. Not everyone is going to have the chance to go and see it yet. And so by doing that, you take away from people's excitement. But that's where we are now, is we're in like almost like a post, I don't know, post surprise world.
Got to be first.
It's got to be first. And it's also like, but people I think are also wanting to know what they're getting going in. I really feel that way. I think people have been burned so much by misdirection and advertising and by all of this stuff that they just don't want surprises anymore. They just want to know it all before they go in. And I think
the same thing with new rock stars too. They did like the Shang-Chi post-credit scene like literally that Friday.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't care if you break it down. At least look, as much as I dislike Grace Randolph in many instances, she's at least, she keeps it concealed. Like she keeps it concealed enough. And you're like, okay, I know what I'm getting into here. Real quick here, Mo Moon with $2 world building. Where is the sandwich building? Is that Subway? Where should get there? Anyway, H Bart's here. $5. Thank you, buddy. Says, if Warner Brothers did Eternals and it had bad reviews, they would redo everything. Well, I mean, that was effectively the New Gods. And yeah, here we are. So like, that's essentially it. I mean, they announced the New Gods and then Marvel announced the Eternals, and then here it is 3 years later, and New Gods is dead and Eternals is in theaters. So, that's DC in a nutshell at this point. You never really know what's going to happen. It keeps you on your toes. But they would probably redo everything. Which is just terrible stuff. All right. And then cool. I think we are caught up on all the super chats. So thank you guys very, very, very much for that one. Now the other thing I wanted to kind of get into tonight was about Doomcock, because I think we're finally starting to see the cracks in everything. And we're starting to realize just how much Doomcock has to rely on his sources. But his sources, I don't think, are necessarily multiple people. I think his sources are one person. Mm-hmm. And we might be able to prove that tonight. I want you guys to pay attention to this. Now, the other night on the show, Caden and I, we took a look at Midnight's Edge, and they had Cameron Pasha on talking about Kevin Feige versus Bob Chapek, which is the most ridiculous damn rumor I have heard in a while.
Like I said in that stream, it was like, he's basically writing the movie script for this whole like idea of Chapek versus Feige. Like, this is a good movie idea, sure.
And he says
in real life, no, not in real life.
Well, but he says it.
Well, apparently, they're all just pissed off at each other over at Disney. I mean, like all the studio heads, all the different factions, all the
it's
CEOs that are there
it's
or not
Rome
there at
there.
any given time. They're all just mad at each other. They're all just, they're calling each other out in these big long meetings where apparently every studio head is presenting at the same time, and you have to sit there like a good little boy or girl and wait for everybody else to show their presentation first before you show all of your
like show and
presentations
tell.
for
That's cool.
everything, like all of Lucasfilm and all of Marvel and like, can you imagine how long that freaking day would be? But
That's like a 24-hour day.
oh my God. I mean, like, that's not how this stuff works.
But can I
Not at
admit
all.
though, if if that was real, I would
it'd be
love to
sweet.
be there.
Oh, heck
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But
I would be
it's
like,
not.
yeah, just strap me in, put a diaper on me,
Right.
pitch me everything you've got. Let's do
I'm
this.
not
I would be
leaving
so
that
happy.
room, man. I'm not
Yeah,
leaving that
yeah.
room, but it's not how it works. And
No.
that's not how it happens. And it's like, you just listen to that and you just go, I feel dumber for listening to you drone on about stuff. And I feel bad. I almost feel bad for the 100,000 subscribers you got, 200,000 subscribers, whatever, who think that that's real.
Well, a lot of them though, like again, like he's been heavily laying into the rumor aspect of it, right?
Mhm.
He's been very much wanting to make sure that that's his get out of jail free card.
Oh yeah.
Because of all that. And so I think what it boils down to here is, again, like everyone gives him a damn platform. Like Midnight's Edge gives him a platform without question. We talked about this the other night. Kate and I did. There was no pushback. Anything he says, zero pushback, zero questioning, zero follow-up, zero nothing. And I did hear behind the scenes that like Tom Connor apparently was like, I push back on Cameron Pasha. Dude, no, you don't. We got it on tape. It's caught in 4K. All right. I don't know if you're blinded by that bald spot in your head, but maybe get your eyeballs checked. Like nothing here. You do nothing. All right. You're just you're literally worse than Ed McMahon. You exist for no reason. Give me a sensible chuckle, Tom, every once in a while. That's the most useful thing you can contribute, you idiot. But that being said,
like, it was like, it's like you said, no backlash at all.
Nothing, no pushback. No pushback, no nothing. So I know Enosh has already covered this earlier tonight, so he can chime in, we can chime in. But I wanted to kind of touch upon a bit here, this Feige and Chapek feud, because this is again, this was put out a couple days ago, and Doomcock here absolutely is very much trying to push a narrative, but it's like, but again, where does it all come from? Where does it originate? Let's see.
Led to believe as a high-level source who wanted to reveal how Feige's feud with Bob Chapek began and the maneuvers that are continuing to this day. This is a very interesting and very detailed narrative that came to me through my Hollywood agents, who tell me that this particular leak may have been sanctioned by some high-level person in the Disney organization, so in a sense, this leak may be in and of itself the latest salvo in the widely speculated on feud between Bob Chapek and Kevin Feige. This source confirms as well that Bob Chapek may have had it with the whole wokeness thing, particularly when going woke means going broke. And at the end of this video, I have a rumor about why the Scarlett Johansson lawsuit against Disney really happened. So again, if you don't watch this video to the end, you'll be missing out. At this point, I want to emphasize that this information came to me through my Hollywood spy network. They vetted it and feel that this source is genuine and of a high level. But since I personally cannot verify.
Yeah, I love that. They verified it. I can't
Hollywood
verify
Spy
it.
Network. Hollywood Spy Network.
Yeah,
This is
like
Doomcock bots everywhere.
it's not even Doomcock bots. I don't think it's Doomcock bots. I literally think it's Cameron Pasha. I think because he's on there. What
No,
by the time
one
I went live
singular
tonight,
Doomcock
Doomcock was live with Cameron Pasha. I know when Enosh and Johnny were on earlier, they were trolling in the chat, and Cameron was on there, but it's true. Like this whole thing is just like he just runs his mouth on this, and again, no one in his audience really ever seems to care. But again, I think we're starting to kind of narrow it down because they let Cameron Pasha talk unabated on other streams. And if you remember, never interrupt somebody when they're making a fool of themselves. right? Or never interrupt your enemies when they're making a fool of themselves or whatever. I don't view these people as enemies, but you know.
I just thought it was funny. Like, yeah, we had that troll in there tonight, but you never know, man. And I'll tell you what, I've learned that. I've learned, you know, with the weird people that not just the weird people, I mean, you know, but people who have come and ended up being real on my stream, you know, people that I doubted or whatever, but like that, yeah, that with him claiming to be on there tonight, I thought it was kind of hilarious, but
oh yeah, I know. I would love to have an opportunity to actually chat with Cameron Pasha, because I would literally just start like breaking holes in everything. And it's really simple.
Well, Matt, I was gonna ask, like, do you really think like this is basically just a giant circle jerk where Cameron Pasha is the source? He props up Doomcock on Midnight's Edge, and then Doomcock makes his videos and it's like the spokesman for the rumors.
See, so so I think it's a circle, right? So what it is right now is Cameron Pasha does not have a career as far as I can tell.
Yeah,
as he's got nothing. I've been looking. I've legitimately been looking. I put out, as I've mentioned before, I have put out feelers to other producers on things that he has claimed to work on, and I've been trying to figure out some stuff because I just want to know. That's a banana. All right. Wow. I have no idea what the context of that is.
RJ doesn't like it when I eat a banana. I ate a banana once,
it was very bad. It was bad,
and he didn't like the way I ate the banana. So I'm gonna go off camera here. I'm starving because I've been streaming literally all day. So
yeah, I hear you. I hear you, man. All right.
I won't make RJ feel uncomfortable because RJ feels uncomfortable when a man eats a banana.
Instead of. Anyway, all right. Well,
do with that what you will.
Anyway, let's watch some Doom.
So is that going to end up being RJ's spoiler review of the Eternals? Like, yes. I like the movie. I don't have a problem with the gay couple, but it's when he put the banana in the mouth. I had enough.
I had enough.
And then he put the banana in his butt, and then just got really weird.
Okay.
And then his name is TJ Kirk. That's an old reference that I don't think many of you will get.
I understand that. That's why
and that's okay. I know him too. We're buds. But all right here. So, and I lost my point. I was going to say something. Oh yeah. So, okay. So it's the circular nature of this whole circle jerk, right? So it kind of breaks down like this. Cameron comes on in and he gives an air of legitimacy to not only Midnight's Edge, but he gives it to Doomcock by sticking around. They give him legitimacy by propping him up. And if you notice, because we're going to take a look here at the Midnight's Edge clip from the other day, they're promoting his website right there. It's right there in a pinned comment right on the screen. And the reason why they do that is because they're driving people to his website. Why? Because he keeps mentioning multiple times during his little screed that he keeps writing about this on his Patreon and that he's teaching screenwriting through his Patreon. And that's actually how he's publishing his book, I believe, is through his Patreon. So this is what it is Midnight's Edge can report on either a Doomcock rumor, which probably comes from Cameron Pasha. They get the money. Doomcock reports on it. He gets the money. They bring in Cameron Pasha, who doesn't claim to be the source of this, but an insider himself. It's almost like they're playing inside baseball here. And then he gets the promotion, and then from there gets the potentiality of new patrons, which is all about making money and getting people to go and support him that way. Because I don't think, again, like I said, I don't think he's working. I haven't been able to see it at all. And he doesn't have a presence for YouTube because he looks like he is permanently from the 1980s.
But he was writing new episodes of Tron Uprising, he said.
Oh, yeah, I saw that super chat tonight, too. Cameron, can you tell me what's going on with the new season of Tron Uprising? It's been canceled. It's been dead.
It's done.
It's done. It's dead. It's buried. I'm just saying it's deader than the Snyderverse.
Oh my god.
Anyway. I'm kidding on that.
So
one.
You admit there's more of a chance of Snyderverse than Tron Uprising?
Yes, Zack Snyder's original properties are alive and well at Netflix. That is the Snyderverse.
I'll take it as a win.
And that's what he said too. You can't even take that back. That's what he said. That's what Zach said.
He said that. That's what he said.
That's what he said. That's right. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's what she said. That's what she said. All right. Okay, let's get into this here because I don't know how far into it this goes, but I just wanted to get a general overview.
Yeah, we're going deep into a rabbit hole
of the Chapek stuff. Do you know about the timestamp of this, Enosh, when it gets into it, or somewhere?
The Chapek stuff is towards the end. It's more towards the end.
Okay, so what's he talking about here in the beginning then? The Feige pulling a Last Jedi with the MC. Oh, that's the Riri Williams thing, isn't it?
Yeah. First
Right,
he
right,
talks
okay.
about the Iron Man stuff, and then towards the end he gets into like the fight and yeah.
Okay. Both of those things, by the way, are also talked about from Cameron Pasha on the Midnight's Edge stream.
Yeah, he talks it up. He adds
Yeah.
fuel to it.
So sorry, go ahead, Caden.
I was saying we talked about this on Friday, correct? Like,
See, we talked about this on Friday. I didn't know about this video because I don't subscribe to Doomcock and I don't really watch him. And I only know about it because Enosh was streaming about it tonight. And I'm sitting there in the car and I'm on the freeway and I'm like doing speech to text with Johnny on Twitter. I'm all like, dude, no. Hold on. Like, wait a minute here. This whole thing. And then and then Johnny's like relaying it on stream, but he's not saying that I'm sending it to him, but I was the one sending it to him. As I'm like weaving in and out of traffic, like trying to like scrub through the timestamps on the Midnight's Edge video while not dying. No, I'm kidding. I pulled over for that one. Just because I wanted to be on the safe side. It was rainy tonight, so I wanted to be safe. Anyway, so let's get into this here.
Any of this information, I am presenting it solely as unverified rumor, and I ask you to certainly take it with a grain of salt.
Lies.
So this particular leak started out with one of our very trusted sources reaching out to my Hollywood spies, only this time it appears that this source was not the originator of this information. This source told my spies that they were, quote, somewhat surprised that they got the go-ahead to tell us this, though it's not the whole story, unquote. About a year ago, the Walt Disney Company board was holding an important meeting. This was at a point in time when Bob Iger was still attending meetings, and of course, Bob Chapek was there as well, and they were getting pitches on upcoming shows, development updates, and whatnot. Things were moving along, and when it got to be Feige's turn, he started his spiel, and during his presentation, Bob Chapek interjected and asked Feige, so now that you killed Iron Man off, who are you going to replace Iron Man with, and when are you going to replace him exactly? Kevin looked at him a moment, and then replied that he was going to replace Tony Stark with Riri Williams. To Kevin's shock, Bob Chapek knew who Riri Williams was and how badly her comic run had.
To kind of touch on that for a second, Chapek is an IP guy. So it would make all the sense in the world that he would have an understanding of who the new characters are and who has been in the orbit, especially when it comes to the Avengers campus. So
I mean, also this whole question thing, like if this presentation was real, there would have been emails orbiting about this question prior. Like this would have been a question that Chapek would have been like, oh, make sure you put an answer to this question in your
No, it was a gotcha moment that Chapek had been waiting for weeks. He was trying to wait and see what exactly was going to happen with Feige, and he put Feige on the line.
Yeah, well, Occam's razor here makes a great point, and this is exactly what I was actually going to get to next here. It says here, Ironheart, man, I knew it was coming. Any character pushed since 2015. And you're right. You are absolutely right. When it comes to the next level of where things are going to go as these sagas progress, what has been the number one question that people have had about the MCU post-Endgame? How in the hell is it going to sustain itself? Yep. How is it going to keep the story going? Yeah. By introducing new characters. I mean, look at Hawkeye introducing Kate Bishop. She's going to be in Young Avengers. That's what the rumor is. They got Thunderbolts on the horizon.
Yeah, well, right now they're choosing a mixture of characters from like the early 2000s and the 2010s. So,
well, when did the Matt Fraction run happen? When was that?
That was right after Avengers came out because Marvel editorial wanted a Hawkeye comic to coincide with the movie. So, because that was Hawkeye's first appearance cinematically. So that was 2012.
Okay, so at that point they were already establishing that they wanted to
Kate Bishop existed like the early 2000s actually.
Okay, and she was popular, wasn't she? From my understanding, she's been a pretty decently well-liked character.
Yeah,
she's decently popular.
I think she became more popular with the Fraction run.
Yeah, I would agree as well.
Which is why they're adapting that for the Hawkeye TV series.
Right.
Okay, and it's kind of like even again giving us Monica Rambeau, and
also, like if you think about it, the Fractional is also taking place during Christmas, and it's their Christmas special type show for Marvel.
True. And it is also Marvel meets Die Hard effectively, and
Right.
I'm so happy for that. You guys have like no idea how excited I am to see that show. But no, that's the whole point. The whole point is that any character. Oh, by the way, $5 here from Deranged Enosh saying just stopping by for Enosh. Well, thank you. I know that people give Enosh super chats about me all the time on his show, so I'm totally cool getting that reciprocated. Thank you very much.
What is
buddy.
that a picture of?
That is a picture of what appears to be Enosh eating something.
Eating sausage. Isn't that from your stream
it's the
on
breakfast stream,
Saturday?
maybe.
It is. Yeah, well, because Deranged Enosh has taken it up a notch here, Jarbo, and I'm trying to figure out like who this person could be. He says that he has met you, and that I have cooked him dinner. That he's been to my house many times for parties.
Okay.
He knows me, and I'm trying to figure out like who the heck do I know that you know? It doesn't make any sense to me. He gave me he said that he's hung out with my oldest son Isaac, that he's talked DC with my son Landon, and that he's family. I have no idea.
I think I know who it is. I can solve this puzzle.
Really?
Yes. Okay. He's Jesus.
He's Jesus. Jesus with a $5 super chat.
Jesus,
You know, you think you could spring a little bit more, don't you, Jesus? I mean, come on, Lord. With all that we've given for you, Jesus. I mean, I know you've given a lot for us. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know you've given it all. You sacrificed all, but I mean, a little bit more Jesus in the pocketbook would be nice, you know, Jesus.
It's
I'm just
Casper
saying.
the Friendly Ghost.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Jesus.
I just well, he's everywhere. He's
Yes,
he's
this is
everywhere.
true.
He's very generous. You know.
You mean Jesus Jones?
Sure. Why
Jesus
not?
Jones, you know. Do you feel real? And if so, I'd like to know.
Who's who?
Oh, come on.
Jesus from Big Lebowski?
What?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's a
I'm
song.
off track
Jesus
here.
Jones, the song, you know, Jesus Jones.
No, I don't know. Who sings that? I don't know.
You feel real, and if so, I'd like to know. I hope you feel real. Jesus Jones. He was like in the 90s. He also what was the other song he had? There was another. There was a different song that he had that was a lot more popular than that one. Oh God, I can't remember it right now.
I don't know.
I don't know. Jesus Jones, but like, yeah, it was. Thank you, Rule of Two. Yeah, it's a great song. It's a really good song.
I'll tell you. I'll go and I'll give it a listen once we're done with this.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find out.
Yeah, if you find it and like post it in the private chat, I'll check it out afterward.
Jesus.
But all right, let's. So yeah, the like I said, the idea here effectively.
Right here, right now. That's the song.
Oh yeah, okay, I know
Right
that's
here,
here.
right
Right.
now.
Yeah, I know that one.
There is no other place I'd rather be. Yeah, that's Jesus Jones.
Okay, it's just the Jesus Jarbo. Oh wait, whatever, spherical man, God. Thanks, Dick. No kidding.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But all right,
Well, I was
so
gonna mention this all goes back to the replacement theory pushed by like Comicsgate and like people like Ethan Van Sciver. The replacement theory, of course, being they're gonna take away all your white male role model heroes and replace them with hip, young, diverse characters.
and the thing
like,
is,
who are you going to replace Iron Man with? Not who are the new characters you're developing? Who are you going to replace Iron Man with?
But again,
Yeah, that's
the word replacement is not what should be being used. They're not there to replace the
Like
character.
watch
They're
this
there
out.
to
Riri
exist
Williams
in
is
that
going to
same
continue
world.
the legacy of Iron Man. Fill a
Yes.
spot, but by
Yeah.
fill a spot, I mean lead the Avengers that spot. I've been told it's Doctor Strange now, but he's saying like it'll continue the legacy of Iron Man. It's not going to replace Iron Man.
well, again, it's like what was the Trinity from the Infinity Saga? Iron Man, Captain America, Thor.
Yeah,
You know, like that was very important to the
Yeah,
Russos.
and right now you still have Thor, but the other two are kind of
Doctor Strange and I think Spider-Man are probably going to end up taking.
Doctor
Are going to
Strange,
end up.
Captain Marvel, Spider-Man.
Captain Marvel, another big one as well. Here's the thing: is I don't see Spider-Man leaving the MCU. I think
No.
they've worked a deal with Sony that's going to keep him around for quite some time, and that's going to be great. I can't wait for that. So you know, they're not. So yeah, when he says here, who's replacing Iron Man, and he's like Riri Williams, that was something from the comics. That was like
And
she
it
took
really-
over the role of Iron Man, and that pissed off a lot of people back in 2015.
but it was very short lived.
it was very short lived.
And
Yeah,
her AI,
But she had a
her AI
hologram
was
of
Tony
Tony
Stark.
Stark
Yeah.
and all that stuff, which
And they're gonna
possibly
change
be in
that.
the
They're gonna-
show. And Yeah.
You don't think they do a AI voice with Robert Downey Jr.?
No, God, no.
Oh, really? Interesting.
No,
Okay.
I would not. I mean, dude, I don't want that, to be honest with you.
No,
Let
not
him
even a
go.
little
Let
bit?
him go. No, I think it would be too much. It'd be too
What
much.
if he wanted to do it though?
Come on. He's not gonna.
It's only a voice role. It would only be a
Yeah,
voice role.
nah. They're gonna give it to like who else could they give it to? They're gonna,
They're
you know.
If they don't get RDJ, they'll probably which I'm sure if they do confront RDJ about this, he'll say yes. But if they don't, they'll probably do the voice actor that was on him for What If.
Maybe, but even that wasn't that great, and it's kind of like
well,
again.
that's still bringing back Tony Stark though. Either way,
Yeah, like let him. Yeah, I agree with Music Man here. Just let him be dead. Simon here says, calling it now. Tom Cruise will play a variant to Tony Stark, most likely, and I'm actually okay with that.
That's been the rumor for like.
I'm okay with that.
A long time.
Yeah, give me a variant of Tony Stark that's less Grossman from Tropic Thunder. That would be amazing. That'd be amazing.
More of a dickhead.
Shifty Gism here says Tom's too chubby now. Dude, that suit's not real, by the way. Like by the end of when they shot Endgame, it was literally just him in like sweats with like the mocap suit,
and like
dots
a helmet.
on it. Yeah, like that wasn't even anything. I don't want Tom.
Man, I just went to Chicago, man, and they got real suits as seen in the film.
I know that they had real suits, but but if you look at all the behind the scenes stuff, if you look at it's him. It's all VFX. It's all VFX.
I know that they got a lot of that mocap stuff, but I mean, going to
I'm sure,
the Science Center, they showed that like he was actually in real suits as well. Like so they had
for like
because they had each suit for Iron Man from each film, and it said as worn on screen by Robert Downey Jr.
In Endgame?
Yeah, they had one for each movie. Literally, they had everything from the first one, the big bulky one, all the way up to. I mean, they had through part 2 with the suitcase one, and everything in between. And because they're all made with like resin and and everything, and so it was as worn by Robert Downey Jr.
Can I just say though that as much as I liked that he kept working on it and tinkering, I wish he just would have kept. Really, just would have kept the Mark III design.
The suitcase.
No, that was that was actually like I think Mark IV or Mark V.
You're talking about
the original Iron Man, the way it looked at the end of the movie.
Right.
That I just wish they would have kept that design because that's my favorite. I love Iron Man. I love the way, but that is the classic Iron Man in my opinion. And
I still love his look from Avengers and Iron Man 2.
You're wrong.
That one's great.
You're wrong, RJ.
Listen, I love the nano suit. I love the Infinity.
I'm sure
War
you
suit.
do.
I think it looks
I'm sure
great.
you do. I'm sure you love that BS.
I like
Endgame, which is
I
a
like the
great
Infinity.
Marvel movie, and there's nothing wrong with Endgame.
I like the Iron Spider suit.
We need a really lame way to make sure that they can all get into their costumes really quick and stuff. And so, nanotech, yay!
It makes sense though.
It
makes
look
sense with Tony Stark's arc. It was the peak of technology. He perfected it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if he can make the arc reactor keep his ass alive, and then also figure out a way to like pull out the metal shards at the end of Iron Man 3 and then still come back for 3-4 more movies.
I solve all the world's problems.
So yeah, well, except for hunger and clearly not war.
No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Endgame.
Yeah, I saw Rainbow here talks about the Hulkbuster. I saw a fan image today. Someone took a Hulkbuster and they painted it white and blue and they put R2-D2 in it.
Nice.
And I'm all like, dude, that would be so cool.
They need to use the Hulkbuster more.
They do. That was what was I watching that had it was Tony versus the Hulk in the Avengers game. Their fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was cool. Like when the Hulk's beating the shit out of Tony and Tony he calls over the Hulkbuster arm and then punches Hulk through a window. Like that was good. I like that game. The story is really good. The story is super good.
I love the sequence we got in Age of Ultron. Actually, it's one of my favorite parts of that movie.
Yeah. But that's a Joss Whedon joint. You can't talk about that. But all right, let's get back into this one here because Simon here says bring balance to the universe like I did. But I mean, like the Riri Williams thing, obviously with the death of Chadwick Boseman, that's a big thing. They're gonna have to, they're gonna have to find a way to fill those shoes.
It's
But
funny you
also-
mentioned Chadwick because apparently the rumors that she's going to debut in Black Panther 2 first.
She is.
Yeah, she is.
She is. They already have an actress
Confirmed
for
it.
her, Dominique something or another.
Yeah, it's
Dominic
Dominic.
Thorne.
Wait, is that confirmed? Because I thought they
Yes.
didn't
Kevin,
confirm that.
Yes.
she's on set. They've seen her on set.
Yeah.
Kevin confirmed it on the red carpet. And
Oh,
was
Yeah,
like,
she's
yeah,
she
they're
she's
filming-
she is
like,
100%
I thought that was
in
just
Black
like
Panther 2.
Kevin was like, "Oh yeah, they're about to film in MIT with our actress who's playing
okay.
Riri
Yeah.
Williams."
I
Which
honestly
in-
thought that was just a rumor.
No, that's real. And then in the
Yeah.
comics, she's from MIT. She goes to MIT.
Yeah.
And
And
the
funny
cool
thing is, Killmonger also went to MIT.
well, and also Civil War, the opening of Civil War was
Also
him
Wilson.
at MIT giving that presentation.
Right.
Oh, that's
So
right.
they're I mean again they're going to build it around MIT and that's going to be where this comes from.
Right.
Cool. Fine. I also feel like look, there's nothing wrong with having another black female superhero. Would I prefer, I don't know, Misty Knight to come back into the fray? Absolutely. I love, you know, but hey,
It's insane that she will.
Place for her.
yeah, I know it'd be great. Give me, you know, Daughter of the Dragons or whatever the hell it's called.
Right.
You know, but I would love to see more with, you know, there's nothing wrong with having a black female character. Like, and that's the thing.
It's woke. It's woke.
I know, but like, here's the stupidest thing about this. We should not even be like debating this as a negative. You know, I know their argument here is, well, the comics didn't sell well. Yeah. Like,
Or they said that the comics had bad writing, so that means the movies will have bad writing.
well, the comic, you know, her character arc is going to be whatever. And who, I don't know who's, didn't Chadwick, not Chadwick, didn't John Cougar,
Ryan.
is that his
Coogler.
name? Coogler. Thank you.
Right.
Ryan
Oh, Ryan
Coogler.
Coogler.
Ryan
Ryan
Coogler.
Coogler.
Sorry. Ryan Coogler. Didn't he write the script?
Yeah.
For
so
Ironheart?
No, for Black Panther 2.
Yes, yeah, he did. He did.
And he also did it with you know, with Chadwick for he also did Black Panther. So
Well,
I mean,
prime example. Look at Falcon and Falcon Winter Soldier. That's a very different version of Sam Wilson Captain America from the comics, and they made it way, way, way better. It was much improved.
I mean, also.
yeah,
you
we
have to
also
realize
need
that,
more
like,
Isaiah Bradley, but that's just my take.
Yeah. Also, like, again, yeah, like you were saying, RJ, earlier, that bad writing in the comics doesn't mean bad writing in the movies at all. They can very much make it better in the movies. And
Because I
Yeah.
guarantee you, because I know people are they're already gonna flip out about Jane Foster, Thor is woke, Lady Thor is woke. I'm
Oh
like,
my god,
her
already
cancer
dealt with someone
storyline is
who's-
beautiful. Just wait until the movie comes out. It's gonna be
Well,
awesome.
said,
so
Natalie
yeah.
Portman as a scrawny chick. Why is she becoming Thor?
She worked out. We've seen her
I'm like,
arms.
do you not see the set photos?
There's a
Like-
lot of people that are just like really happy about trying to say it's, you know, I don't know, it's like a woman can't beat up a man. Like, I mean,
Listen,
no.
listen.
Gosh, oh my gosh! Yeah, you know what? I took so much flack for over the Mandalorian when Sasha Banks plays, you know, the
Casca
one
Reeves,
Mandalorian.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I love Sasha
and
Banks.
I literally had a guy. I actually kept the comment for a while because it went into, you know how you have like the hold area if they use certain words. That he used like a hashtag and then he was like F this, F that, and so it went into the hold area and I left it there for a while because I thought about like, you know, releasing it, but then after a while I was just like, no, this is the most ridiculous comment ever. This guy was like, science has proven that women cannot beat up men. It's physically impossible. And I'm like,
Enos, wasn't
really?
that the same thing that Germany was upset about, that she beat up Boba Fett?
yes, it was during that time. Yes. And I was like, are you serious? So tell that to every guy who's ever gotten his butt handed to him by a woman. Okay.
And then, but remember when in chapter 4 of Mando, when Cara Dune showed up and she bested Mandalorian, they were calling her Mary Sue, and they were calling her.
saying the Mandalorian went woke.
They were saying all those things all the time, and you know, so it's just the thing is, and again, and even with, you
It's
know,
all
with Doom,
performative.
yeah, it's all, even with Doomcock, it's all performative. He's a bit more on the consistent side, but let's keep going with this because I just want to get through the first little bit of it here because I don't want to go through the whole video, but there's a lot to get through.
Had done. So how badly had Riri Williams been for Marvel? My friends, her comic series Ironheart did so badly, it resulted not only in cancellation, but it also resulted in a Marvel Comics executive accidentally telling the truth about how badly wokeness sells comic books. Marvel's VP of Sales and Marketing, a guy named David Gabriel, confessed publicly at a Marvel Retailers Summit back in 2017 that comic sales were down and that diversity in female characters were to blame for the decline. He said, quote, "What we heard was that people didn't want any more diversity. They didn't want female characters out there. That's what we heard, whether we believe that or not. We saw the sales of any character that was diverse, any character that was new, our female characters, anything that was not a core Marvel character, people were turning their nose up against. That was difficult for us because we had a lot of fresh, new, exciting ideas that we were trying to get out and nothing new really worked. Unquote. Of course, David Gabriel was immediately attacked by woke wankers and SJWs for daring to tell the truth that get woke, go broke. And the poor guy was forced to make a hostage video apology saying, quote, "Let me be clear, our new heroes are not going anywhere." We are proud and excited to keep introducing unique characters that reflect new voices and new experiences into the Marvel Universe and pair them with our iconic heroes. We have also been hearing from stores that welcome and champion our new characters and titles and want more. They've invigorated their own customer base and helped them grow their stores because of it. So we're getting both sides of the story, and the only upcoming change we're making is to ensure we don't lose focus of our core heroes. Unquote.
Remember though, he's the hero. He even though he sounds like a
Yeah.
supervillain, he's the one who's fighting for your rights and everything. Okay.
Yes, very true. I just as a side note, I tried to bring up the transcript to on another tab to try to find like where I'm looking for, and the transcripts were auto-generated into Vietnamese. So I unfortunately am not able to get my to really skip to the points I want to get to here. I just hold on here. We got the Purple Lord Leo Anansi. Thank you for $5 here. It says, your knee-jerk hatred of SJWs is lame, but otherwise you guys are pretty good. This is for Isaiah Bradley and Ironheart. Thank you very much, Lucas. My disdain for the SJW is very similar for the reason why I dislike a lot of people on the far right. It's what we call horseshoe theory. It is just, if you look at their beliefs and their actions and their words, they're very similar. They're just on the opposite side of the spectrum. And so that's a lot of what it boils down to here. That's a lot of my criticism. I dislike a lot of the hardcore left takes because I don't feel that it's progressive, nor do I feel that it's beneficial. And I don't like a lot of the hardcore right-wing takes because that's usually rooted in some kind of bigotry or sexism. And again, it doesn't move the needle forward. It's just about clutching their pearls and holding on to the past. And again, like Doomcock here, freaking out about Riri Williams. So there's that. But King of the Golden State here says Ironheart wasn't canceled. Its run was 12 issues. And didn't she? And she kept on, right? She was in other runs, wasn't she?
It's like they were so embarrassed. They kept
No, she was done after that. They totally canceled her because
she's a member of the Champions.
No, she's not, RJ. They totally canceled. Chapek has spoken. Chapek has spoken. It's done. It's done. She had a she had her chance. She had a chance. She sucked. She was not male. She sucked.
She was not white.
She was not white. She was
and
not
again,
male.
And again, I would like to
how do you even expect her to get that curly hair into that helmet?
Enosh, you joke about that, but that was a big sticking point. People were very upset she had curly hair.
Look, I
that was a real
hair.
thing.
I had that hair last year.
People were so upset that she had an afro and earrings, and the first cover say there's no realistic way she could fit that hair into a helmet.
Okay, as a guy who's had I could literally have that hair. Okay, I have had that hair. I've ratted out my hair on camera. I can do an afro when I have my hair longer, but it's so curly. That is just the dumbest thing. It's hair. It collapses.
She can put in the ponytail.
No, the afro has to go in all the way.
How will she fight crime when she's on her period?
Oh my god!
That's basically
by using the power of Midol.
Midol.
and peanut butter and pickles, salty and sweet.
Oh, the power.
Now from Always, hero pads. Are you looking to fight crime, but you're a woman and you're on your period? New hero pads from Always.
Listen, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you this right now. All right. Mm-hmm. If Tony Stark can build a suit that flies, he could go and create one that's going to end up having very similar technology to that microchip to prevent pregnancy, that birth control microchip that Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is making, and have it just right in there. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. No one gets pregnant in these shows or these movies very often. So everyone is just rocking some serious protection, and that's good.
That's a great point. What if she gets pregnant? She's gonna fight crime in the pregnancy suit.
Actually, you know, it's funny you mentioned that because there's a big outrage when Spider-Woman got pregnant and was still fighting crime. People are saying it's unrealistic for a pregnant woman to still be able to fight. So that actually was a real controversy in Marvel Comics.
Next, you're gonna tell me she's having sex while she's pregnant.
My God,
she might have. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I can tell. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that story.
You're gonna hit
I'm
the
not going
baby's
into
head.
that story. I'm not
Gonna
going
hit the
into that
baby's
story.
head.
Yeah, I'm just trying to he talks a bit about here.
You do suck.
Yeah, let's just skip to the
dude has
stuff.
built-in overflow protection.
Yeah, all right. Well, okay, so Enosh, you did watch this whole thing, and I did not know the Vietnamese stupid ass things are going to be there. So he talks about how Feige is trying to use like he's basically trying to use like the older characters to prop up the smaller characters.
Yeah.
Like the ones that failed, apparently, the ones that are failing in the comics or whatever, in order to Last Jedi this thing. Never mind the fact that that's always kind of been the plan, has been to eventually pass the mantle. These
because you can't have these actors play these characters for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you have that, and then you've also got him talking a bit about the situation involving Scarlett Johansson and and Bob Chapek. Now, the reason why that's important. And which one?
I thought you were going to say Joss Whedon.
No.
Although I'm sure he's involved somehow.
No.
Oh, he was involved. Trust me.
Well, yeah, I know that rumor. I think I'm the one that told you that rumor.
The joke would be that they're going to include him and say, "Oh, look at this male feminist. He was in."
Oh, yeah. No, so in the video that he
in touch with a feminine part.
he mentions that basically the idea here is that when Kevin Feige had gone to Scarlett Johansson and told Scarlett Johansson to file the lawsuit against Disney over the whole thing involving the Black Widow going to Disney Plus, and then and the thing is though is that she then went to Bob Chapek and told Chapek, "Hey, listen,
she ratted Feige out.
I'm gonna rat you out. I'm gonna rat all this kind of stuff, right?" And so and then they plotted to put Feige in a corner using 4D chess essentially as a way to
Chapek personally thanks Scarlett Johansson and said, "Thank you for informing me. Let's work together to take Feige down and put him in the corner."
Yeah. So I mean,
sue the company I am the CEO for.
Yeah,
strike me down. I will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
By the way, the company. If you guys remember when Matt covered the ScarJo thing, Disney publicly put her on blast in multiple company statements saying, "Oh, we gave her what she wanted. We don't know why she's doing this. This is messed up." Basically.
Yeah,
it's figures the villain.
It's
but
not to
remember they were working together the whole time.
Sense to me.
Hold on, Protoss here says clicks do that stuff though, Matt. Dude, the CEO. Okay, here's the other thing you have to consider with this one, right? It's Bob Chapek is the CEO of the company. Okay, but he's not the chairman of the board. All right, Iger was CEO and chairman of the board. Iger held supreme control over the company.
Yeah, he controlled everything.
Chapek only is the CEO. He can be fired by the board. Make no mistake, he's got power and he's got influence and he's got sway. But if shit hits the fan and the board is like
responsible,
yeah, they're still gonna hold it. They can still get rid of him. So all of this is
you can't use that sense because
I can't. Oh, I can't use how businesses work.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Damn it.
We're in Doomcock's lair. Logic just.
I know. The joke I made earlier on Enosh's stream is like, he's looking to invade Earth from within Earth. So I just said
that's what I said because he's got the signs up there that says invading Earth and plotting revenge.
Yeah.
So like, can you invade Earth if you're already in the center of Earth?
I know.
And
yeah. And then I just said, so he's So he's the phone call is coming from within the house.
Yes, I love that.
That's effectively what's going
Well,
on with
actually,
this
it was
one.
funny. I asked Edosh at the end of his stream. I asked who's worse, who is the worst person in terms of spreading misinformation and getting people to buy into BS? Is it Doomcock or is it Cameron Pasha? Which of the two is worse?
Well, at this point, they're kind of interchangeable. That's kind of the whole aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
They're very interchangeable. And as we covered before, there was that whole Doomcock, Cameron Pasha situation with like the remote viewing and the tarot cards and the obsidian mirror and
now
all that
apparently
crazy.
there's like interstellar things going on.
Yeah,
too
I got
now.
that. I got that clip as well. I got that whole thing as well. But so bringing up, this is a stream from a couple days ago. We will get to the Cameron Pasha video here in a minute, Rational. But the thing is, so Cameron here, what I want you guys to listen to is I want you to listen to how Andre addresses Cameron in the beginning here. Now, this episode, number 168, this dropped on Friday morning. And the Doomcock video came out on Thursday. So it did come out the day
the next day.
This is the next day. But the thing is, in all of what Cameron Pasha says, and if you were here on Friday, Caden and I went through this whole like most of the segment.
I watched some of it. Yeah,
It took like an hour to get through like 10 minutes of it. It was
Oh
insane.
my god.
We're not doing that again, by the way. But he does say but basically he lays out that entire rant that Doomcock was just going off about. And he mentions Doomcock a couple times in regards to the way Doomcock reports it. And so he doesn't say that he's the one who gave him the info. But again, if you listen to how it's set up, it doesn't say anywhere that this is from a Doomcock video, nor does it come across as being anything other than pure insider information as presented by Cameron. And that's what I want you to listen to is the dialogue here is very telling in its dishonesty.
Andre for letting me do most of the predictions on here, and
Wait.
it's
Let me go back.
Nothing is ridiculous anymore in these. Keep it up.
well, thank you very much, and I thank you, Andre, for letting me do most of the predictions on here, and they come from 20 years of having my butt kicked by this town, right, and seeing all the machinations and being, watching projects die because someone played this game and realizing that I'm a pawn in somebody's story, and I've witnessed all that. I've directly experienced it. That's why I'm like, well, this is how these people think, right? I've been the victim of it. So how is the chess game moving? And so that's.
But you notice how he's saying he was the victim, he was the pawn, and now he's the chess master. Essentially, is what he's trying.
But where are these guys right? That's what it just cracks me up, right? Because we can look at this, and we're smart enough to be able to look at these things, and we go, okay, they haven't been right about anything, and the things that have been correct, we all know are documented. Like Doomcock got off of 4chan, whatever.
They got it from somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, but where has Pasha ever been right? How?
I think we
It would
lost
be
him
like,
there.
hey, they're an expert from Hollywood, and like what people just are gonna believe that, and that's the problem that I have with it is that like I would hope that people aren't that stupid.
Well, let me explain that they are.
I mean, I get it. Yeah, I get it. But at the same time, like I tend to have better faith in humanity sometimes, and to me, it's just like anybody with half a brain can be able to look at this stuff and should be able to use their brain.
But see, the problem though, Enosh, is that what they're doing is they're selling people on the idea that their inherent biases and what they truly believe is wrong with the world and Hollywood is correct.
Oh, trust me, I grew up. Look, we were, Matt was talking about like right wing and left wing, right? So I grew up with a lot of people who are very, very right wing, and like they don't understand me because I'm not on a wing. I'm not on a right wing. I'm not on a left wing. I'm very much in the center. I lean conservative, but that's me. But I'm not crazy, and I'm not a nut job, and I'm not going down all these weird conspiracy things and stuff. I believe in treating people with respect and with love and caring about people. And for the most part, I want to stay out of everybody else's business, and I want people to stay out of mine. So I get it. I understand where these people are coming from, but like, it still blows me away that we're dealing with these kind of people in every segment. And that it even goes down to stuff like entertainment, where people will believe the most insane, crazy theories if it just makes them feel better about the thing that they hate.
Pretty much. And that's kind of the whole point. Is this is all about feelings. This is all about emotion.
Yep.
I think deep down, if you press them about it, they'll be like, they don't have an answer. But if you ask them how it makes them feel, they're going to say it gives them hope, because they would love to see Star Wars and Marvel and Star Trek brought back to their previous former glory. Never mind the fact that all franchises have been heavily criticized at one point in time or another. Well, maybe not so much Marvel in regards to the MCU, but comic runs, absolutely. And there was a time for a while where comics were effectively thought of as dead. So, it's not without its bad times, but just listen again, how they kind of set this whole thing up.
That's been the fun part of it. And on my Patreon, I'm now going very deep into it. I just published an article midnight last night about why I think the rumor that we're hearing from our friend Doomcock that Scarlett Johansson was actually plotting with Bob Chapek the whole time. The lawsuit that she filed was Bob Chapek's idea to corner Kevin Feige into an impossible situation from which he cannot emerge. And it sounds so absolutely crazy. And I write this very detailed thing of why this is exactly true based on my experiences, right? And that's all my predictions come from, is that I've seen everything and it's all crazy, and somehow I've survived it.
See, I think he's the one who provided the rumor on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's like, oh, well, Doomcock said this rumor, and I'm gonna back it up. Here's why I think it's real.
Yeah.
It's like, well, where did that rumor originate? Probably through Cameron. And again, look at this right here. Check out Cameron's site, CameronPasha.com, which I have checked out. And by the way, his Patreon is not linked anywhere on that website.
Really?
So that's kind of funny. Yeah, I can't find it on there. Maybe it is now, but he's trying to sell them. If they're gonna have his website up there, then that is them trying to. And keep in mind, when this was live, they had like 1,600 people watching this. 1,800 people watching, whatever.
There's a lot of people watching.
It's a lot of people watching this. And so when they were live, the people that are going to that website looking at it, and if you go and you look at it, it's like, he's written some books and whatever. It's a professional enough looking website, but it doesn't have any of his crazier machinations on it. It doesn't have any of his crazier thoughts, because it keeps that very much reserved for the Doomcock crowd, because those guys are into the occult. They're very much into the same kind of stuff that maybe Himmler was kind of rocking with back in the day. I don't know. From deep within the Antarctic, the power of Brill, whatever he has. But let's just again listen to the whole basically Riri Williams thing.
Yeah, actually, that's a perfect segue. So let's continue that right now.
Yeah,
Commandant, because as you referenced,
it sounds like he says Commandant. I know Enosh, you said that earlier.
I know. It's
the way Andre talks, but it's like
But it's just something. If you're not, you're just
I still hear Commodore. I don't.
It's the mother of all Freudian slips.
I know,
right?
I know.
It's like,
it feels like you're not paying attention. All of a sudden, you hear
what if it was him the entire time? What if he is look at that smile on his face? What if he knows it's a slip and he's like just embracing the idea? I'm obviously kidding. But,
I know.
No, for people at home are like, oh Matt, you're just I'm kidding. But he's clearly insane.
Good friend Doomcock, he dropped a video I think it was yesterday, in which he broke down some more details about Indiana Jones, what's happening behind the scenes of Disney and Marvel, but he also broke some details about what's going on between Iger and Chapek specifically, and their little game of 4D chess.
I think that's Feige, not Iger. Because I think
I meant Feige. Yes, Feige. Because here's the thing. I think that Feige, he is still under the previous contract, so he's probably scheduled to be there for years yet. I would imagine. I do not know exactly.
Unless he is forced to resign because
exactly. Unless he is forced to resign. And
why would the single most popular producer in Hollywood be forced to resign?
That's what I said.
I said on Friday, he's like the top 15.
They would be insane.
Bazillion trillion. Look, RJ knows. I tease RJ all the time about Marvel stuff or whatnot. But I mean, honestly, that makes no sense. Why would you fire him? He's literally giving you hit after hit after hit, and even the ones that aren't like huge runaway hits are still hits in their own right. because he's created an atmosphere where people feel like they have to see every movie. And so why would you fight? Because you don't think that of an unproven idea that Ironheart won't do as well as Iron Man. Like that's why, or because Bob Chapek just doesn't like Feige. Well, who cares?
Yeah, well, because the thing is, like, they know that ever since it was reported that Kathleen Kennedy was getting her contract renewed, which was a Mikey Sutton drop on this show, by the way, which they all refused to mention, which is fantastic. And and they haven't mentioned anything specifically. There's been no press release announcing her renewal. There's been nothing, and I think they're downplaying it specifically for that reason. But obviously it makes sense that she's gotten a renewal, and because now they're trying to argue that it's only a 2-year extension to finish up Indiana Jones and whatever. Ever since they can't really attack Kathleen Kennedy, so now they're making their way towards Feige.
Yep. And
when you listen to again how Cameron describes the Feige situation with Chapek, he does say, and to be fair, I did get my timestamps a little bit mixed up here. They do reference the Doomcock video, but I think Doomcock has talked about Iger or Feige and Chapek before. I know Cameron has. And so
that's just replacement of names.
Yeah.
And certain words. That's all. Like, that's basically the whole game.
Yeah, HY Series, like, they are afraid to name Matt by name. They call me Uber driver. They call me a bunch of other names. Yeah, they do. Let's see. Captain James Biggins here says Midnight's Edge buried themselves to being grifters. They did. Andre knows it. Andre knows it. And he doesn't care because they're making money, and they at this point they're too in it. They're too deep to ever actually go out. That's just the reality of it. They're in too deep, and if they try to get out, they're going to find them, with the concrete shoes at the bottom of the Hudson. That's what's going to probably happen metaphorically. They don't want the fate. They don't want the same fate as Mecha Random 42. They don't want the same fate as her. They don't want to be excised from the community. That's why they're still doing it. So they're culpable in my opinion. They're still pretty bad. But let's keep going.
To me, I have nothing but respect for what Feige has achieved with the MCU. But for the last couple of years, it looks to me as if he is set upon tearing it all down. And Doomcock, he referenced a story that he had heard from one of his sources, so rumor alert, with how Chapek had asked him, what are you going to replace Iron Man with? To which Feige then replied, we're going to replace him with Riri Williams. Going to be awesome. We can do this. To which Chapek then apparently responded, but Riri Williams Ironheart, and there is a Riri Williams Ironheart series in development. She can't even sustain her own comic book for 12 issues in a row or beyond 12 issues. What could possibly make you think that she's going to be as popular with general audiences as Iron Man? To which Feige responded, well, I'm sure I can make it work.
I'm the genius. I made it work before.
Sometimes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So at this point, obviously, Andre recapped the Doomcock video, but he's setting up Cameron to kind of come in and take over the conversation. And this is where, Cameron, you heard him right there. Oh no, he's done it before. Cause like he's already fully aware of the story. And I really honestly think that they've just invented that themselves. But what do you guys think? You think, Enosh, you think I'm onto something here?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's all circular. I mean, we've already said it, but I mean, it feeds itself. It makes sense. They're just repeating the same thing over and over again, is what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's nothing new here, and I'm just sorry, but you look at Pasha. There ain't nothing about that face that makes me trust it.
But she worked on Tron Uprising.
Oh yeah, I like Tron Uprising. I like most of it. But yeah, this is BS. This is absolute BS. Just because a guy wrote on a show like what 8 years ago Like, how long ago was Tron Uprising? Tron
It
Uprising.
was a long while.
Like,
That
was
was
it like
even-
2013 or something?
Yeah,
because it was like the year
2014.
after Tiffany and I got married, and Tiffany and I had been married like 9 years. So like okay, and you know what? I didn't watch Tron Uprising actually until last year. But you know, that means nothing. Who cares? So a guy wrote on a show. What else has he done? What has he done since?
Well, that's kind of the whole point, though. I mean, again, look at the website
me and
there.
Trevor,
Oh,
saw
poor
that
guy.
he was on the UPN remake of Twilight Zone in like the early 2000s or something like that for like 2 episodes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that changes everything then.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's,
that
there we
changes
go.
everything for me.
There we go. Enosh confirms Doomcock was right.
Right.
That
Enosh now
changes it
believes
all.
Doomcock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, well-
I apologize. I
It's-
apologize.
But it's just
It's-
like
it-
it's like barely anything. Like nothing to warrant his credibility at all.
No, there's nothing there. But again, just from here, so if Cameron is not the progenitor of this story, he would have what he goes on to talk about. He would have no knowledge of.
Yep.
Right. He would, and even then, you know,
Oh, it's just
he'd
his
be-
wisdom from
his
serving all
wisdom,
that
yes.
time in Hollywood, man. He's been beaten down for so many years, man. He just knows. He
yeah,
just knows this stuff, man. He, you know, and you know, you should respect that because he worked in Hollywood, man.
yeah, man.
Hollywood, man. He worked in there. Come
All
on,
right, so
man.
let's just
Tron, dude.
Oh, I
Tron,
know.
man. The bigger picture, bro. You know.
Let's see what he's working. Let's dive into this nonsense again.
Yeah. So basically, the relationship between the two are not amazing. Kamran, can you just briefly take us through the
Stop
story?
saying it like
here,
that,
not
Andre.
yet, not yet.
Briefly summarize for new viewers the story between Feige and Chapek, and what's new. What do you think is going on right now?
Well, you've established there are 2 points that Doomcock revealed, and I believe both of those 2 points because I've been wondering where and when this conflict between these two figures began, right? And it is a conflict between these two figures. I don't think there ever was a conflict between Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Chapek. I don't think she ever went at him. I think she just went at people that messed up the money bottom line, and Chapek's like, I got to fix this problem, right? And he fixed it. Whereas Feige and him,
With no evidence, by the way.
Where
Nope.
did this begin? So
my feeling, my gut
Doomcock, our
feeling.
friend, is reporting that it began about a year ago when Iger was still going to these meetings, which suggests, this was the moment where Chapek still wasn't in charge, right? And Iger was the real shadow king. But Chapek was preparing for his moment, and he was heavily prepared. And so apparently Feige was stunned when Chapek's like, I know this character, and I hear the sales of this character's books, Riri Williams. Nobody's buying this book, right? Why are you doing this? And this was the moment where I think Feige realized, oh, this guy's actually going to try to do his job instead of being the fake CEO, and he's doing research on me. This guy's coming for me. So Feige woke up to that, right? Because he got embarrassed in front of the board. That wasn't Feige thought this was just going to be, a kiss-a-thon. Everyone's going to kiss his butt, right? And make him look good at the board. I'm sure as Iger had done for years. And now he'd been embarrassed in front of very powerful people when he couldn't come up with an intelligent response beyond just trust me, right? So that was when his ego was activated. He's like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? He's going to mess with me? I'm going to take him down. That was a mistake. And then we saw the events that happened all this year. The pivotal event, which is the second thing that our friend Doomcock said, which is that Scarlett Johansson strangely filed a lawsuit after Black Widow against Disney, claiming that they by releasing it simultaneously on streaming, she lost a lot of money from her bonus that she was supposed to get from theatrical. And at the time, I was like, this makes no sense. She's been around the block for 20 years plus, right? And she knows you don't sue Disney. You're powerful enough that her agent can have one phone call with Chapek and there's a handshake and it's finished. And Disney claimed that in its legal filings that we'd resolved this. We'd given her everything she wanted. Where is this coming from? And so the logic made no sense. And then she suddenly settled out of nowhere exactly at the moment when Shang-Chi started tanking, and then put out this wonderful kissing butt Disney press release of how she's excited to work with them and going to be doing this Tower of Terror and whatever. So I was like, all this feels to me like a storyline. It didn't feel like natural human behavior under these circumstances.
Because none of it's real.
Right.
I mean, like he literally is. You can tell he is crafting a narrative. Like this is why I believe that it's
story
him.
in his head.
He's
rambling as he's going on.
He's trying to he's pitching it in a way. If you notice, he's adding extra details to what Doomcock has said. Now, we didn't go through all of it, but like the general summarization is the stuff that he's the internal dialogue that he's trying to argue. Like Feige was embarrassed. He didn't have the answer to that. Are you fucking kidding me? That
Another
Kevin
thing,
Feige
like, I
would.
just now realized he said that Shang-Chi was tanking.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Yeah, when did let me just okay, Scarlett Johansson settles. All right, let's see here. They settled on September 30th, 2021, and Shang-Chi opened
September 3rd.
September. So this was 4 weeks almost to the day later, which is during even the best of movies during the best of times. Have all diminished by their 4th week. So whatever he's trying to say here, like, oh, when it was tanking, what does that even mean?
Yeah, it was doing good.
So I mean, I'm just saying, like, it had done well. It had done its opening weekend. It had held to the second weekend. This was already coming into its 4th weekend at that point in time. So again, it just doesn't really make any freaking sense to me. People are just like, holy crap. Yeah, Friday the 3rd is when the movie opened, so roughly Tuesday the 2nd for the preview, and then exactly 4 weeks later on September 30th is when they settled the lawsuit. So yeah, obviously that line doesn't make any sense, but yeah, you can tell that he's weaving this mind. They set him up to tell him like this story, like, oh, explain further what's going on here, what you think happened. And then but he's not saying, like, he'll sit there and say, I think this, I think that, but he's saying it with such determination that he believes it. And that is where that's the same kind of attitude that Doomcock does. Doomcock will play up that he believes these rumors. And he'll say that they're rumors and take them with a grain of salt. That's to cover his ass. But he believes them well enough, so his audience will believe them as well. And that's exactly what Cameron's doing here. So it's very interesting to see how all that is going. But let's we are getting real close to the end of this clip.
And then when Doomcock revealed the shocking thing that he's hearing from his sources, that apparently when Feige said to her, which I always believed he had, hey, Scarlett, baby, this guy messed with your money. Can you just sue him? And we're going to take him down together. It's you and me together, baby, right? And she said, uh-huh. And she went straight to Bob Chapek's office and said, this guy's trying to screw with you. And Chapek's like, thank you for letting me know. Let's play with this. Let's put him in a position where, everyone, because Chapek, we've seen, will take the humiliation. We've seen it publicly. He will take being humiliated in the trades in order to outsmart his adversaries. His ego is big enough to know that I just need to win. I don't care what public opinion appears to be temporarily against me. So for a few weeks, people were like, oh, look at Chapek and screwing around with Scarlett Johansson. He took the hit. Because he knew the bigger thing was I have to trap Feige in a position where he cannot get out of. I believe that absolutely, because it's the only thing to me, as someone who survived the machinations of this town, that explains her behavior. And the thing that I wrote in my Patreon is, why would she betray Feige like this, who was her mentor for many years, for a decade, gave her this huge role, right? Why? It's like he betrayed her. He betrayed her when he put Captain Marvel before the Black Widow movie and took this nobody actress that people didn't want, right?
A nobody actress,
Academy Award-winning actress.
Black Widow,
and the movie that he's been pitching to Ike for years.
Yeah, but like you can, but if you look at the way he's describing it here, this is pure belief right here.
Yeah,
his body language is outright pure belief, and not one of these people are even like the lady here in the corner. She literally just goes,
That's
the whole time.
Nodding or like that's interesting.
Yeah.
Nod. And then
I mean,
say something smart once or twice.
Yeah, she speaks up a couple times. But you can tell that he believes everything that he's saying, which is why, again, when the two of them are together, I think Cameron is smart enough to know that he can't be the source publicly, because then that would put all the pressure and attention on him, right? It'd be like if Mikey Sutton wasn't Mikey Sutton, and like Mikey was just feeding me info or something like that, and I was reporting on it from my source, but I kept Mikey around for his knowledge, I guess. Very kind of weird. It's a diversionary tactic, so it doesn't come across like insider trading, but that's essentially what this is. in my opinion. And he says, I think right here he says like this is where he's like, if I would write it like this.
Feige says, I'm going to kill off Black Widow. So that means Scarlett's not going to be making any money off this character in the future, right? That's betrayal number 2. And so I was like, why would this, at the time, I was like, why would she be with Feige on this? It makes no sense. It's because she wasn't with Feige.
I would like to
see, it's like, that's the entire aspect of it is it's literally just, you know, it's insane. Hold on. Rel McMillan for $5. Thanks, buddy. Matt Reeves would be proud of Jarbo's detective skills. It's not even that, dude. It's literally just like, watch these people talk. It's not hard to like pinpoint when they believe something, and it's with how much they you know, it's all through repetition. The more they repeat it, the more they believe it. And that's all it boils down to. Like Doomcock knows that he can repeat the same arguments to his audience and they'll believe it, right? But it's his own friends here. His own friends know he's full of shit.
If you believe Doomcock's rumors, that's great. I don't.
My favorite clip of the year.
Yeah.
My favorite clip of the year is that one right there.
Mine too.
Just because it's very much, you know, it's very, very apparent that like his friends, if you notice, again, go and look at his friend group. They're not involved in the same things anymore. They, you know, Jeremy goes off, they go off. They've been doing these meetups around the country.
Oh yeah.
Doomcock hasn't been showing up at all. He's not on Friday Night Tights. They don't really work together anymore. So Doomcock has rescinded further into the occult because the culture war has moved away from what he can sell. No, I'm serious. Like if you
I
really,
know, but yeah. I mean,
I'm not even. I mean, like you know,
that's the
fucking obsidian mirrors, dude. Like, come on.
Dude, I know.
So
let's do some tea leaves and ring stuff, and let's talk about interdimensional beings.
Oh well. Apparently that's happened. So I was sent this today. I have not watched this because I did not have the opportunity.
Yeah.
This was sent to me by a person who really wanted us to know how insane Cameron Pasha was. And I don't mind talking about Cameron Pasha quite often because I think he's a liar. I think he's a grifter, and I think he's I think he's a person that just needs to be called the hell out by more people. I think they need to question him. Look, here's the thing. I could be wrong, and this guy could be legit, but I've seen zero evidence. I've seen zero proof, and he's been right about nothing. So what is it? Is this a ploy to get more people to support your Patreon? Or is this because you actually have inside knowledge when you publicly haven't worked in a decade? So, hold on here. Occam says here, so Doomcock is in the Vril Society. That's a stretch. LOL. I'm sorry. Oh yeah. Have you not seen the Commandant videos? I'm not going to bring them up right now, but you're running a little bit too hardcore defense there, buddy. Just saying. It's not hard to look at again at the vocal patterns, the breathing patterns, because Doomcock is a fat motherfucker. And there's, if you listen to it, he likes to breathe. He breathes pretty heavily, and you can listen to that in the Commandant videos as well, because when he uses the vocal distortion, it amplifies the heavy breathing to make it sound a bit more like he's Darth fucking Vader.
Yeah. It really exudes that, yeah.
Well, Gary doesn't work much with Doomcock anymore. And because Gary's been trying to build up Friday Night Tights, which honest to God blows everything Doomcock does out of the water.
It's probably the biggest show on the platform in terms of like what they do. So.
Yeah, as terrible as that sounds. Occam here says that's dead lore. I don't think Vril is even a thing. It's a dead society. I would think that doesn't matter. You have to look at it like this. It's all fan fiction, right? The idea is the scenario that has been created. Look at Doomcock. I'm Dictor von Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth. I live in the center of the world, and my pet is a Cthulhu. It's all a story. It's all a character that he's playing.
Yeah.
And that is what people, they go, oh, but he's entertaining. He's funny. He's a buffoon.
He has a funny little puppet. Cthulhu.
Yeah, he's got a little puppet named Harvey. It's Cthulhu.
So
Cthulhu's cute. And that's his angle. His angle is to come across as non-threatening. But if you listen to the words that he uses and how he frames them, again, it's a lot of it's a lot of dog whistling, and it's a lot of the culture war and all this kind of shit. and it's terrible. It's terrible stuff there. So again, so you can sit there and say the Vril Society is what if you go and look up the Commandant on BitChute, it's him. I believe fervently that it's him, and I'm not the only person. And if you again, the type of content is again culture war. They created their channels around the same time. In fact, the Commandant was first, and then Doomcock appeared. Doomcock blew up. The Commandant was relegated over to BitChute, where there's a smaller audience, but the audience there is more radical. And the stuff that's being said by Commandant appears to be very similar to Doomcock. And the biggest thing for me, and I don't have the image handy, but you can go and look it up. You can go find Doomcock and Geeks and Gamers doing a car video together. And he has a luchador mask, a custom luchador mask that he's wearing with a big ass K on the side. And I'm telling you right now, that ain't a coincidence. That ain't a quinky dink. So
you don't think so?
No,
maybe
I don't
he's
think
a
so.
big fan of Klondike bars, you know.
Well, I mean, listen, we're not trying to fat shame him, okay, RJ? We're not trying to fat shame him.
Yeah, RJ.
Hey, this is not like Klondike bars. I'm just saying, you know.
What would you do for a Klondike bar? Gas the Jews. That's his response. That's
wow.
You're going to hell for that, Matt.
Oh, please. It's already full of people who were in Auschwitz. And I mean the people running the camp. The people running the camp. I meant to say that.
Thank you for clarifying that.
I want to clarify
really
that
bad.
everyone else is in heaven. Whatever the heaven is. I don't know. I don't believe in heaven, but I believe that they're in a very happy place. Lots of mimosas and shuffleboard. I don't know. But people who ran the camps, they're in hell. They're deep in hell. Wow. Shut up. It's time tired. It's late. It's KK's for Karma. There we go. Captain James Biggins here says, I have eaten Klondike bars. Don't make fun. H. Bart's here says $3 theaters in heaven. I think that's debatable.
Maybe $3 is purgatory.
Maybe we're in hell. I don't know. Maybe their Rel's like, I'm dying laughing.
Interdimensional beings with Kamran Pasha.
Yes.
And look at the rings he's wearing.
With special guest Demi Lovato.
So this is episode number 24. Apparently it is the quote unquote season finale.
It's from a very small channel.
Yeah, very small channel. And again, I'm not mocking these women for their beliefs. But
we just want to hear from King.
I just want to hear what he has to say when it comes to interdimensional
anything's possible.
Beings.
Travel,
yeah.
Sure, why not?
Sure, it's all the occult, you know. And hey, I like the occult. I like reading up on that stuff. I find it to be very fascinating.
Okay.
You know. So that's just me.
Does it bring up Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
I like that movie. I will defend that movie.
I'm just wondering, you know.
You'll see. All right, let's go.
Subject to its physical realities. So the jinn live longer than us to the tune of thousands of years. They have life. They have beginnings, middles, end. They're born. They have, they're not just like eternal floating entities. They're born and they die, but they can live for tens of thousands of years and more. But if in their dimension, if they actually physically manifest in ours, you can kill them because that's a danger for them. That's why you actually have fascinating accounts of Bigfoot. We'll get to whether Bigfoot is an interdimensional being, but there's more and more accounts.
No, because I've actually come to that conclusion myself as a joke. Right? I was sitting there and I was watching a Bigfoot special one night, and because I'm in the Northwest, right? Like, I mean, I love Bigfoot. Hell,
wait.
I
had a big
he just say
Bigfoot
is an intermittent.
Yes. I'm not. Yeah, that's what he said.
Well, if he exists, he probably is. Look, I'll say this. I don't think that. I mean, look, there's some things that are theoretical that are. Look, I love cryptozoology. Okay, for example, I love sitting around talking about Bigfoot, and I love sitting around talking about the Loch Ness Monster and crazy things found in the ocean and aberrations. And I like watching ghost shows or whatever. But, and look, man, if they prove that the Loch Ness monster was real tomorrow, I would be all about it, man. I'd be all excited about it. And like, yeah, there's all these theories that you can say. Like, this is some stuff. You ever listen to Coast to Coast Radio?
Yeah, I really only listen on Halloween though, because they have Ghost to Ghost.
I used to listen because I used to work third shift for years, and so like I would listen to Art Bell, man, every night, and I was like fascinated with. But the problem is like I see now what kind of person Pasha is, because these people, they come on, they talk about time travel in absolutes, right? This is what happens. These are these beings, and they're interdimensional beings, and they travel like this and they travel like that. And you know this how, right? Like they say things as if they're absolute proof and absolute, you know, that this stuff is absolutely happening, and there's no scientific basis for it. It's all theory, or it's all just, you know, hey, wouldn't this be cool if this was happening, right? You know, him just sitting there talking with these two women. He's got two women there that, God bless them, they, you know, but they're just listening to him talk and just going, oh, really? Oh my gosh, that is, oh yes, oh, it makes so much sense now, you know. And you can see he's soaking it up, man. He's, you know, he's playing to his crowd, and he's telling them a bunch of BS, you know. Yeah, okay.
Well, no, you're right. You're right. And the thing is, though, it's like I was talking about this with like I was talking about Bigfoot with my girlfriend a while back, and my girlfriend likes some of this stuff, you know, like the spiritual astrology stuff, and she knows I don't believe in it, but you know, like that's her thing, and I'm not even gonna mock him for things that he's saying here. It's like people believe what they want to believe.
Yeah,
but it goes to show you like their personality and on that front. But it's like I'm not even kidding you guys. I jokingly was talking about Bigfoot. Like, I'm like, what if Bigfoot is interdimensional? You know, like what if that's how we never see the cryptids. And because I'll tell you this, guys, when I was a senior in high school, when I'd moved to San Diego and I had the few months left, they put me in like an after school class to to finish up geography, because I had like failed it when I was a sophomore. And my teacher was like this new hip teacher, and she's like, hey, we have access to computers. How would you guys like to turn your subject into a website? And that's going to be your quarter-long project. So I'm like, I have geography. That's what I'm here for. I'm like, can I do a website about geography? She's like, well, what do you want? I'm like, I like stuff like Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, things like that. So she's like, all right, cool. So I built a website about on GeoCities, by the way. That was all about cryptids. And it was submitted and entered into a competition. I didn't know this. And I won I think I won first place or something. I won $50. So like, I've been into this shit my entire life. So like, for me, that's kind of cool. I mean, like, you know, but it's like at the same time,
right with you, man. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. And you know, again, Enosh, I don't know if you've seen like my work in progress logo for my podcast, Stranger Days.
No.
But like, this is the one I've been kind of working on. So like, because Bigfoot's huge up here in the Northwest.
Oh yeah.
So, but
the stories constantly.
Yeah. So I just like, all right, cool. I kind of like the idea of throwing some headphones on Bigfoot. Like, it's a cool little thing.
Yeah, man. Heck yeah.
You know, and like, so yeah. So like him talking about Bigfoot being interdimensional being, like, I get it. I'll be on the same wavelength as that. I don't believe it, to be honest with you, but like, I like it as a story.
And I guarantee you, if tomorrow they found a Bigfoot, you'd be all about it. Like, and you'd be like,
oh yeah,
that's super cool, right? Like,
totally. Every time there's like someone, like a report comes out, like, we found a Bigfoot carcass in a trunk, and I'm all like, it's not real, but don't fuck with me. Or what was it last year? 2 years ago, there was the guy,
the guy, who you know about the guy?
No, it was a Department of Transportation camera. Apparently there was a pass somewhere, and they had like what appeared to be a Bigfoot cross through the pass. Like, you could see it underneath, like overlooking. I mean, obviously it's fake, but it was blowing up on Twitter and stuff, and it was like really cool. I'm like, all right, that's great. Like, to me, I would love to see a good, like, I'll tell you what I hate. That hunting Bigfoot show on History or TLC, whatever channel, Discovery, I don't quite know.
You hear that noise out there? That's Bigfoot.
That show to me is the biggest cock tease of all time. It really is.
A lot of those Bigfoot shows are really bad.
It's so freaking, like, you know, it's just nothing but a tease. Because I'm like, man, like, remember when Animal Planet did that that mermaid documentary,
Oh,
right?
yes.
And
Heck
they
yeah.
didn't tell people that it was fake.
Yep.
And people believed that it was real. I
Yep.
watched that, like, cause that premiered like the same week my grandmother passed away. So I flew up to Oregon,
We just
and
talked
I'm
about
there.
it the other day. That's so funny that you're
Yeah,
talking about
and I was talking about it with my mom the other day too, because we were talking about it, and we watched it when it was on that week because I was up there visiting for the funeral. And so it's like, but my mom was like, "Is this real?" And I'm like, "It's not real, Mom." I'm like, "No, that's real." But I mean, but you want to believe, like
Exactly.
you want to believe, like if you can. That's I think one reason why storytelling in movies does so well, because you kind of want to believe. Maybe that's it.Maybe we just cracked the fandom menace code on this one, right? Because like Cameron here believes. He believes,
Mhm.
and that's how you sell it. Like that is literally how you sell it to people. There's a spiritual guidance guy, but his name was Dr. Wayne Dyer. And he had a great quote that I loved. And he said, people buy your passion, but they buy your music. Or no, they buy your passion, not your words.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So they believe, so if you are passionate about something, they're in it. And that's maybe the thing with like the fandom menace is while they're all, they know that they're lying. They're passionate about it. And maybe that is just like, why their audience believes them.
yeah, it does it for him. It does it for him.
Yeah.
It's enough for them. It's enough for them.
Yeah. Oh, Taylor here says, I'll admit it. The mermaid one got me. Yeah. Dude, I'll tell you this, man. Summer of 2007, I was working on a screenplay at the old studio in San Diego. My boss comes out like at 2 a.m. and he's like, have you ever heard of Planet X?
Yeah.
Right. And I'm all like, I'm like, no. He's like, oh, dude, you got to go look this up on YouTube, man. They even talked about it on Fox. This is the power of disinformation, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right. So I pause working on the screenplay he wanted me to write for him. And I go to YouTube and I type in Planet X and I go down this rabbit hole for like 3 hours of just like nonstop, like Planet Nibiru, Planet X, the world will be destroyed December 21st, 2021. We're all dead. 80% of the planet's going to die. The poles are going to be shifted. Everything's going to go, tits up. And I, for a brief moment in time, I kind of believed it because I'm like, why would people make these videos if it wasn't true?
Right.
And maybe that is part of it is, where I was in 2007, not really thinking much about, I believe the Blair Witch Project was real. Okay.
Yep. At first, yeah, dude, I'm right there with you, man. Like when I first saw the thing, I was like, hey, and I was actually pissed off when the movie was done, because it was obvious that it wasn't, and yeah, it was frustrating. But yeah, no,
I know,
dude,
I know, I still love the movie. I still absolutely adore the film. But yeah, but it's like that. There's so much that going into the movie, into this kind of stuff, if we want to believe it, maybe that's what it boils down to. If we want to believe it, we will justify it in our brains. And that's probably like how people like this operate, because they want to believe, they do believe. And then they get connected with other people who believe. And then that creates the echo chamber, that creates the something that's impenetrable, because facts and logic. And you're like, well, look, I mean, we've talked about this for years. There's been, sightings of Bigfoot for years, but there's never been any conceivable evidence. No carcass has been found. No scat has been found. Yeah. Nothing with, any kind of weird DNA. I mean, Hulu just did a documentary earlier this year called Sasquatch. Did you see that?
No.
It's a true crime documentary. It's about this guy who was he was a journalist, and he used to go deep undercover. When he was younger, he worked in Humboldt County, Northern California, in a weed farm. And he heard about 3 Mexican guys who were killed by a Bigfoot.
Wow.
And the thing is, he comes back 20 years later, and he starts, because now he's an investigative journalist, and he starts tracking down what the hell's going on. Like, was it really Bigfoot? And it's only 3 episodes. It's super good. But it's like, again, like this is taking the idea of folklore and urban legend, yep, and seeing how it actually ripples itself through certain areas, because people out there, I think, are desperate to believe in some ways. And they grow up thinking about it, and it never really gets challenged in any conceivable way. And they just really want to focus on it. So it's super interesting, how we tend to find ourselves drawn to this. you know, like again with like Coast to Coast and stuff like that. My security guard when I worked at the drive-in would pick me up at night to escort me to the bank. And he was this older Mexican guy named David. Great dude. Love this guy. And he'd come out every day. He'd get there early. He gets his burrito from a taco shop. He comes out, he sits down, he's eating, you know, and he'll be in his car listening to Coast every night. And I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, man? What you got? And he's like, oh, he'll be like, hey man, they're talking about this hole. Like it's a hole to hell, you know? And he's like, he'll tell me about what he's like the things that he is listening to. And then I'll tune in. And then I was like, all right, I'll tune in. I listen to it on like the 10-minute drive to the bank, you know, and then we get to the bank, deposit the cash. And then we're kind of talking about what's going on. But this guy, see, I listen to it for entertainment. He listens to it because he believes that this is reality.
Yeah. That's the difference, man.
Yeah. And maybe that's just kind of where, you know, like where that mindset has now moved its way into pop culture. But let me ask you this though,
people want to believe, man, you know, like, look, I want to believe there's aliens out there. I want to believe that there's, other, I don't know, creatures. And look, I really want to believe that there's a megalodon out there, man. Like with all my heart, like, dude, like
the ocean's very unexplored.
Exactly. Like, well, look, man, there's all kinds of creatures that they find. Look at the coelacanth. They thought that thing was extinct for like 15 million years, and all of a sudden they figure out that like somewhere, you know, like they're hunted and fished, and like, you know, tribes are thriving off of them, you know, this large, you know, ocean fish. So yeah, people want to believe, but it's also like where you take that, and when you start projecting that onto serious matters, and when you start making things up just to feed that, because you know people have that desire. Look, it's the same thing in my faith, right? Look, I can't make you believe what I believe. Okay, I can't talk you into it. That's not my role as a Christian or a pastor or whatever. It's not I know it's for some people, that's what they want to do. They want to convince you or talk you into it. I do believe in a supernatural higher power, and I believe that people come to that power because he draws them, not because I could be cool and play you some cool music in my church or convince you by my words or anything else. I don't believe that. There are people obviously who exploit that, right? And they understand how that works, and they understand, you know, the things that make people tick and the stuff that people want to hear, and they feed that. And to me, it's wrong. And it's also pathetic, because it's using something very sacred, I feel, you know, for another purpose. But at the end of the day, you know, like I can only go by what I believe. I can't force you or like convince you of that. You have to have that experience for yourself, you know. And if you don't, then there's nothing I'm going to be able to do to you know, make you feel that, you know, or make you experience that. But, you know, like with this kind of stuff, when you're just making stuff up to try to force people to have a reaction or an emotional, you know, experience, or to feel a certain way, whether it be about a higher power, whether it be about Bigfoot, whether it be about pop culture, it's just not right, because you're manipulating people. And that's where I have the problem with this on so many levels.
And I think you make a good point there. So my question then becomes, who is the manipulator really? Is it, because I think I would argue Cameron is like a true believer, and a true believer is not the manipulator in this particular case. The true believer is the person that you use as, like, you know, like the prophet, as the face. Yeah, and so they kind of cart him out. They cart him out, and they pass him around to validate some of these absolutely insane claims. And because none of them ever push back on it, and they all kind of repeat it, it ends up being treated as being factual. And so that's kind of the whole point, is maybe Cameron, because I mean, like he was on a stream with Echo Base Network and Saggy, and I was in the chat, and I was kind of like pressing him a little bit, and he would respond a little bit. Nothing that I would call, like, you know, groundbreaking or at least even interesting.
Yeah,
But
no like deep cut responses.
yeah, and it's kind of like, and I think he's kind of protected because you were tonight. You were kind of goading him a little bit tonight, and he was responding. And
Yeah.
so, and again, it's like I don't think.
Oh yeah, I went into Doomcock's stream and literally just I put the words, and I didn't even tag him, because you can tag people, in the chat or whatever. I didn't. I called him by just his last name. I didn't even use his full name, so I didn't use his screen name or anything to tag him. So he was obviously watching that. And if you were watching at that time, so many people were commenting on Doomcock's stream that it was just going by. I mean, it was just flying.
Yeah,
Hey, there's like 1,800 people in there.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just flying by. And all I put was, I was joking around, and I said, Doomcock, Pasha is setting you up, like something like he wants to take over or whatever. And like Pasha literally tags me and says, like, how am I doing that? How am I doing that? And I was like, dang, okay, all right.
All right. I guess I'm getting noticed.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, that's the thing. So yeah, he watches all that stuff, but I don't think he's ever, because again, none of those people in there, like, I've gone into Midnight's Edge chat and I've just kind of like laughed at it, and then they time me out. They time me out because they, for whatever reason, they time me out. But they brag about it. They go, "Oh, you got him. I didn't get him. I wanted to get him."
Yeah.
It's like, all right, guys.
Well, because you're Matt Jarbo.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get that. I get that, right?
Uber driver. We got him.
Yeah. And so, yeah, right. No, I see Prodos here says, "Oh, I respect that the guy talks to people." And no, and that's fine. That's fine. But again, it's kind of like, I don't know if he'd ever get himself in a situation. Rational here says, "Let's continue the video. It gets good." I know we kind of jumped off on I am trying to understand Cameron more. I do criticize him, but I am trying to understand him more. I'm trying to get to the root of whether or not he's a true believer or a grifter. And I think he's a true believer that's surrounded by grifters, a bunch of snake oil salesmen,
I'm not convinced yet. I'll be honest with you.
All right.
I still feel in many ways that these guys are all in it together, and that they all play a part. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm kind of at with it, is that I really don't feel at this point that any of them are just innocent. I feel like they all kind of play.
They're all playing a part.
Like kind of you were saying earlier, they all feed each other. Like hey, let's get Pasha the patrons, right, so that he can make some money and he can come on here and he can feed this and like back up our false claims that are actually Pasha to begin with, or they all sit around and came up with this stuff. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
I don't know. The way the guy talks, the way the guy speaks, the way the guy acts makes it very difficult. I think he truly does believe this. But I do see we got a £5 super chat from Benson. What's up, man?
What's up?
So religion is the biggest con in history. No more believable than Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster. Both require you to suspend common sense and science.
Well,
I mean, like, I'm not a religious guy, so like but my issue is with the organizational aspects of it.
Yeah.
Not so much the faith. Have your faith. That's fine with me. It's what you do with it that where I will have my issues. But,
I know what Benson's talking about, and I agree. There are definitely parts of that, but yeah, I think that's more the organization with it. I feel that there's bad people who use people. I don't feel that it's the faith itself. I mean, look, I don't begrudge anybody to believe whatever they want to believe, man. Like, it's like they have their own reasons for it,
Yeah, no, I get you. I mean, look, the thing is, like, as much as I like Bigfoot and Loch Ness, I don't believe that they're real. I just think it would be cool. Like, I mean, I think the chupacabra is freaking awesome.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, like, all the stuff I've like there was a Nessie that's there was in the Amazon. There was reportedly a Nessie that was out there. I mean, but the thing is,
there's many there's
the Kraken. Yeah. But even that, a giant squid. I mean, there are giant squids out there, but
for years they didn't think the giant squid was real, and then they started, but then they started washing up on beaches and stuff, and then they.
I think the Kraken's a real animal. I really, really do.
Well, there's like a lot of these cultures, that had dragons and stuff like that, and people, there's some people who just want to relegate that to fantasy. Yet there are some possibilities that there were creatures that
at least
met-
resembled what
Look,
they
there's
drew, yeah.
people. I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, have you seen the stuff about like
then you had
pterodactyls in South
pterodactyls.
America?
Yeah.
Pterodactyls in South America, like other dinosaurs in South America. I mean, the Earth is a big place.
Well, what
And-
about?
Wait. There's
the
the
ocean.
pterodactyls are in South America.
Oh yeah, dude. There's video of pterodactyls that fly at night, or that will fly during the daytime, and then also like they're luminescent at night, which like a lot of scientists talk about that.
I mean, birds are our
Very
current
much.
dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
Birds
like
and alligators and crocodiles.
I haven't heard about the South American pterodactyls that fly. I need to see that footage to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
But I will say this though, one of the coolest facets about the Amazon is that it's a freshwater river, and there are dolphins that are pink.
Yeah.
That live in the Amazon. And that was something that like I only recently heard of like a couple of years ago. So when I was watching Jungle Cruise and they actually showed the pink dolphins, I thought that was a really cool little detail. And because again, like I also really like Planet Earth, by the way. I love those documentaries about Earth. And so yeah, it's a great big world out there. And so it'd be cool to see some of these things, like just to kind of, I mean, our imagination likes to run wild, but again, a lot of it probably is like in the case of the Kraken. Maybe there was a shipwreck, or maybe there was a giant squid that did at one point attack a ship, and just through, the game of telephone, legends make it out to be bigger than this. But I'll tell you this, then we'll get back to the video. The best movie I've ever seen tackle what happened to these creatures was Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest.
Oh, I love that movie.
No, sorry. It was World's End. When the Kraken, they found it dead on the beach.
Oh my God,
And you find out that the East India Trading Company had been hunting down and killing these creatures. And because I don't remember the exact framing of it, but it was like they were basically getting rid of the Kraken and other things that were like that in order to demystify the world, so they could then basically be the ones in charge.
Yeah, rob the world of its mystery because they want control of it. Yeah,
I thought that was an amazing take. Like, I thought that was so cool. Like, oh yeah, because we have all these stories of old and all these legends. Like, whatever happened to these ththings? Oh, what if they were real? And this company was like, we're just going to snuff them out.
Yep.
And that's such a crazy, cool concept in my mind. I'm like, oh man, I just imagine like the last werewolf in Europe or something, right? And it's like you've got like the Pinkertons, but they're about hunting down and killing these mysteries. I mean, I'm sure that story has been done before as well, but I just think it's a cool little thing. Like, those are the cool stories I like to think of, because those are like, I read so much true crime shit, so much, terribleness that's actually happened. Every once in a while, I like to dive into something a bit more fantasy based. So
I hear you, man. Yeah, I'm right there with you, bro.
Occam.
I know it's crazy.
Occam's here. This is a stream. Tyrone, Magnus, and Kissing the Eternals to the Vril and the Kraken. Is this your first time here? I mean, we get crazy, dude. It gets it goes on for a while, although I've been on for almost 3 hours. Holy crap, that's long for me. Enosh, this is you just getting started.
Right.
So yeah.
Once Enosh comes, all time is gone.
What Serial Commander says, you miss an episode, you miss a lot, Occam. That is true. That's why it's good to be here every night.
Okay, so we're getting set up to a scene where Cameron wears a weird red ring.
Okay. Oh, have you been watching this, RJ? Is that what's going on?
No, Rational Skeptic is giving.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Rational. I know, buddy. I know you've been pushing for it. All right, let's keep going.
Coming are people who have confronted Bigfoot and have like fired a shotgun at it and have said it vanished instantaneously the moment they fired the gun, right? Because
I didn't know that.
The thing would die.
I didn't know that.
And so it instantaneously returns to its dimension, because then it can live.
Very interesting.
That's the danger of coming to this world. So on one level, like children like to play, and they play in the sandbox, they go to the beach and they build sandcastles, but then the wave comes and it's threatening for them to get, and they run away, right? So that's the thing, they can come here because these beings in some way we would consider them childlike, right? And the childlike can often be, the evil childlike, right? But they have that sense of childlike wonder. And if they come into our world, the problem is could be destroyed in our world. So they tend to prefer to stay
of the dimension
in a less vulnerable state, which is their own.
I don't blame them.
But how do they cross over? That's always been my question.
They use the Star Trek teleporter.
Magnets.
Stargate.
They use the beach.
They use the beach.
Magnets, man.
They dig a real deep hole.
ICP, man. ICP said magnets. How do they work?
Yeah, scientists always lie and getting them pissed. I believe in miracles. Oh,
that's the greatest song ever written.
Man, I used to listen to ICP back in the 90s, and then I kind of dipped out for a while, but I've always kind of appreciated the music a little bit. And then and then I hear about I hear about the song Miracles. I'm like, wait, what is this? And then it's like, wait, they found God, they found religion, and then they it's a miracle that my son looks identical to me. It's called genetics, you idiot.
Right? Yeah. It's a miracle. It's a miracle my son looks identical to me because he's actually Jay's kid.
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
Next thing Karen will say is that they come through doors.
Monsters Inc. doors. Okay, I mean, the concept of Monsters Inc. is fascinating.
Pasha just discovered Monsters Inc. last week.
Pasha's going to write another movie about a bunch of interdimensional beings coming through doors, and then Pixar's going to be like, knock, knock, knock. Pardon me.
Pardon me. Exactly.
So wait a minute. Does that mean that Monsters Inc. is part of the Illuminati, where Pixar made that movie knowing they were trying to tell the world about interdimensional beings in our universe?
Yes, RJ, you're correct.
Yeah, don't you know that they were really just grabbing from a Walt Disney playbook? They found his original writings about the Illuminati and Stargate and why Mickey Mouse is so addictive. Because really, Mickey Mouse is a real interdimensional being that...
And he hypnotizes you guys?
All of them are real. All of them are real. Donald Duck was actually a sailor. He really was a sailor.
In a world full of nothing but ducks. That explains why Pluto is a dog, and yet he has no intelligence.
Because Pluto was a real dog from our world that crossed over and became an interdimensional being.
Yes, but Goofy,
Cosmo.
But Goofy is a dog from a world where dogs evolved and actually have some kind of intelligence. But Goofy was on the lower end of that spectrum, and so he's.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying that he's retarded?
Whoa.
I guess. I guess. Sorry, special needs. I have to be PC.
But he is a dog dating a cow, so.
Dude, some people like them thick, man. All right, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing. Some dudes like 4 titties, or 4 nipples. 1 titty, 4 nipples. But a lot of milk.
That 1 titty, 4 nipples. That's wow.
Oh god. And he has a banana.
1 titty, 4 what the heck, man? Come on.
I mean, look at a cow's udder, dude. It looks like 1 titty, 4 nipples. I mean,
at least Ed Bundy said 3 boobs, 2 on the front, 1 on the back for slow dancing, but 4 nipples. What are you doing here to me, man?
4 nipples.
It really is going to allow you to try to tune in Tokyo in multiple ways.
Okay, so Posh is there giving us the middle finger, I think.
Yeah, apparently. Look at that. He's like, I was talking, you guys. Yvonne here saying Goofy is the evolution, Pluto is a de-evolution.
Yes.
All right. So Goombas.
What crazy thing does he say
Goombas.
Here? Okay. H-Bar's here. It says Cosmo loves Soviet Union, Guardians of the Galaxies. Yeah, that's right.
You don't mess with the Russians, man.
Never mess with the Russians. All the time. All right, let's keep going.
In Soviet Russia, Goofy goofs you.
So Lexi says that she likes to think that other higher dimensions exist as places, but not physically. Just like the internet exists as a network and is alive, but not on a physical address.
I mean, it's a good way to look at it. In fact, the internet is actually a great way for us to understand consciousness on many levels, which is ultimately, these are all beings that are different consciousness than us, right? And all the universe is just consciousness. And so, talk about how it goes from angelic to jinn to humans, just shifts in consciousness, which then create a physical reality around it. One of the mistakes that again, Western science and neuroscience has been making, and more neuroscientists are waking up that this is the wrong way to look at it, is they think consciousness exists in the brain, right? Mm-hmm. But they can't find where it is, and they're never going to, because it doesn't exist in the brain. The human brain is a transceiver. it receives consciousness from this other dimensional reality, right? And so when you die, your consciousness doesn't go anywhere. It's the body that's dying. It's like a TV set. When you shut your TV off, the waves are still there. They're just not in that TV set.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
wait. What he's referring to there is like the concept of energy.
Yeah,
Is what he's referring to.
He doesn't die. It just
Yeah.
keeps going on. Yeah.
Yeah, the
I mean-
spirit, the energy of the body and the soul lives on.
Well, no, I mean like
Before.
actual energy. Like there's a I don't know the specifics of it because it is late, but you know, there is a belief that it's like every like, you know, like we're made up of even parts of from like other galaxies, you know, like just particles.
Yeah,
come here.
we're full of immense energy. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like, and so energy can't be destroyed; it can only be dispersed.
Not full of so much energy anymore.
Well, no, you dispersed it, and
know,
now
I'm
it's
not-
floating
I'm not
around
full of it
you,
anymore. I'm
but
not-
it can be reabsorbed into you
So
because
what
you're going to
happens
smell
would
your own fart.
So wait, if you die in that case, right? You die, the energy doesn't go anywhere because, like he said, it's like a TV set. It just means it doesn't go through the receiver, right? Where does the energy go? Does it just like float around? And just, like,
Well,
float
he's
around,
talking
or what?
about different consciousness levels and you know like different different layers, like a parfait, essentially.
like an onion.
5-layer
Or
burrito.
an onion.
Yeah,
Or an onion.
Onion has layers too, Jarbo.
Yes,
So
onions
does
have layers.
scallion.
I have layers. Yes, I've seen Shrek. I've seen Shrek a
Have you?
lot.
I think Shrek is also another movie that tells us exactly how interdimensional beings are.
That is probably true. Also, it reminds us
That's
that
why we talked
parfaits
about
are
the
the best
onion.
damn thing on the whole planet, or the best thing on the whole damn planet.
Exactly.
It all, dude. It's all connected to these animated movies. The animators are trying to tell us things, dude.
So really,
You know,
what it is
that's why they're
the
animated.
Animaniacs is truly the prophecy.
Yes.
Okay, and the new season just dropped. Coincidence? No.
No.
Roger, no. If you think about it, Roger
Incredibles
Rabbit.
is also
Rod-
telling us something too.
Roger Rabbit told us about the possibilities of the multiverse when it comes to interdimensional beings crossing with each other.
So what you're saying is we need to find a tunnel.
We have had a tunnel that looks
Okay.
animated.
So just realize, folks, Jessica Rabbit could technically exist.
Oh God.
But then the real question becomes: as a man, can I get a cartoon pregnant?
That's
yes, but
interdimensional
the
beings
baby would probably
crossing
be.
over with dimensional beings. We don't know that yet. We
Ladies and
That
gentlemen,
theory
you're
has not
listening
been
to Late
tested.
Night Thoughts. Can a man get a
All
cartoon
I'm
pregnant?
asking is just like, do I need to worry if I cream pie Jessica Rabbit? That's all I'm asking. The stream has been on for 3 hours. Okay, it gets real wonky as time goes on.
Yes, but the baby will be like the smoking baby. You know, the baby that smokes.
Oh yeah.
Be like
Wait, would
that.
it be like
Could be
Cool World
Baby New
though,
Year.
where if you try to have a baby with like a cartoon character, you try to have sex with a cartoon character, it breaks reality.
I'm eating that. You're eating that? Wow, he's eating you.
I have a question.
The question has been answered by Son of the
Son
Mask.
If you have
Yeah.
sex with a cartoon, do you feel it?
Oh,
Does it
I don't
feel
know.
like-
I mean,
does it
is
feel-
there
does it feel
warmth
like-
there,
Well,
Or-
maybe it just feels like ink thrashing against.
or
your
is
private
it like,
parts.
or is it like a balloon? I'm not saying that I have
feel-
ever
feel
had
like that
sex
should
with a
be the name of your
balloon.
band. Ink thrashing genitals.
I mean, you never know. I mean, it is ink, you know. So-
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that would work. I don't know. I mean,
That gives new meaning to "You made me ink myself."
premature
That's a good
inculation.
question too. If you have sex with a cartoon character, can you give the cartoon character STDs?
I mean, like, well, okay, here. Well, I don't have an STD, but I mean, I don't know if I'm a carrier.
Reverse, though? Like, what if it's a cartoon
Well,
character
I
with
mean, could I
STDs?
give a female character like an HPV? Because like it's their disease, we're just the carriers.
this is like gone to the whole conversation.
I can't tell what Enoch
This
is
is
doing.
This is like what? I think you should ask Cameron Pasha that question, Jarbo. Can us dimensional
We
beings
don't
on Earth-
need no education. We don't need no. I don't know, man. It's gotten crazy.
I know. Okay, let's get back into the interdimensional beings
This is what
conversation.
happens. This is what, yes. Let's get back to the normal conversation about
Normal
interdimensional
conversation.
beings, please.
Yeah, because we have to understand the mindset of quote unquote working Hollywood screenwriter and
Pasha
predictor
about
of remote viewing
dimensional
into Kathleen Kennedy's office. All right, let's.
So can we?
How you doing, Chip?
I'm sorry,
I don't get to
Teresa.
talk about this stuff in Hollywood too much. People in LA like the new agey part of it. They don't like the deep part of it.
No, we like the deep part of it. We want to know
we
the deep
do.
part of it. Yeah.
For those of you who came a little later,
What?
I am Teresa Caputo. We are dressed up as our favorite mediums, some of our favorite mediums. This is Chip. I'm Teresa Caputo. I don't know how she does it with these nails. I'm attempting to function with them.
I get it now. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, she's dressed up as the Long Island medium.
Oh yeah, that
I
makes
was like,
sense.
okay, that makes sense. But like, they like the deep part of it, apparently.
Yeah, I know.
The deep part.
I mean, look at Cameron's face right there.
He's like, oh yeah, they're buying into it.
He's like, I also like to go deep.
I like it deep.
Oh,
I guarantee you that
I
man
like
is
to
that man
move
probably
deep.
has a very very twisted sexual past.
yeah.
Consensual. I'll say consensual, but twisted.
I
You know.
like the infomercial commercial that he did a long time ago. It was like, don't smoke. If I could tell you one thing, just don't smoke. Don't do it.
Get in there
Do
deep.
you remember
as a
that,
must.
Yul Brynner?
No.
Yul Brynner, man, when they found out he had cancer, man, like back in the
Oh.
day, and they said, like, Mr. Brenner, if you could do anything different, what would you tell people? He's like, I would tell them, don't smoke. Don't smoke.
Okay. I mean, like, could you imagine Michael Douglas coming out after finding out he had mouth cancer and saying, "Don't eat pussy"?
Oh my.
Yeah.
He just took a sip of his PCP. That's what he is.
All right, let's keep going.
I got
say
this
that
book
I
for
definitely
Star Wars from a
consider-
certain point of view.
There we
Star
go.
Wars. George Lucas was a prophet, guys.
The
was
destruction of
telling us
Alderaan
something.
was blinding. There was no noise in the control room of the Death Star. All the company had watched, hushed, as the terrible brightness flared around them. You could have betrayed her now. Whenever they inevitably sent the scouts and probes to Dantooine, you knew for certain that they would find nothing there. You could have spared them the effort, the expense, the wasted power. You could have been rewarded for it. But doubt bloomed in your heart and you hesitated. You're far too trusting.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Well, there we go.
There we go.
I
A
feel
passage from
enlightened.
Enosh, where he enlightens us about stuff.
Spherical man here. Michael Douglas is telling you to not be a hero.
I will be a
Don't
hero.
be a
Gosh
hero.
darn it.
Do not be a hero.
Dang.
All right, let's. I don't know how much longer this is going to go. We'll give it maybe another minute or so because it is getting a little late.
Considered dressing up as Cindy because she is for sure our favorite medium, for sure.
And she is very dressable up as because she's got kimonos, all kinds of fun stuff going on. Right?
So much makeup. That's so
She's
much
the most
fun.
stylish medium on TV, and I tease her about that.
now?
Yes, I
Kristen
agree.
was supposed to be. Kristen was supposed to be Cindy. She was going to be the black hair. I was going to do the blonde with the hair, but you know, it is what it is.
No, I didn't do it because she is absolutely gorgeous. I didn't want to insult her, so that's what happened. I was just like, you know, I'm just going to put on my.
But you know,
scarf.
she is a normal person, and she'd be delighted. I think for someone.
We
like-
love her. I'm a cross between like Khaleesi and Teresa Caputo. I don't know what it is. I just threw something together. Mother of Dragons / medium. I don't know, but anyway.
Was dyeing her hair.
Let's see.
Of a certain, let's just say, marketplace would dye their hair blue.
Comments here, and Terry says that got a comment on something. Another Bigfoot happened, and my brain is like, ooh, oh.
Sorry.
So She was just saying that Bigfoot, like anything Bigfoot, it makes her go, ooh, sparkly.
Oh, good. So let's bring it up.
What?
So I'll talk about. I showed you this. This is a great new book that's come out by a Bigfoot researcher. He's Ron Moorhead, who's he's actually very respected.
Yeah, hold on.
Researcher, who's been doing it for decades.
Look at that cover. The quantum
Bigfoot.
The quantum Bigfoot.
That's actually a pretty badass like little cover there. I'm not gonna lie.
Theorizing that a Bigfoot could travel within time within his own lifetime.
So wait,
Dr. Samuel L. Bigfoot.
So wait,
the quantum Bigfoot accelerator.
Did Avengers Endgame predict that the quantum realm is actually real?
Ant-Man and the
another
Wasp in
Bigfoot
Endgame
body.
showed us what the quantum realm really is. You can time travel.
Bigfoot is
you
behind
can
the quantum
travel
realm.
to an interdimensional being-centric area.
Quantum Bigfoot.
Well, apparently, Quantum Bigfoot is a brand of hard disk drives produced by Quantum Corp from 1996 to the late 1990s. But also the book. The book here.
Also the book.
Well, yes. But the guy, I'm curious about who Ron Moorhead is and how he got such an interesting last name. So,
yes.
So it says here that Ron Moorhead first encountered Bigfoot over 45 years ago in the high Sierra Mountains of California. Since he has traveled the world from British Columbia into Siberia, Nepal, and to the arid deserts and high country of Peru and Bolivia in search of answers. Answers not only to the unexplainably strange happenings that took place at the time or at the Sierra camp, but also to the most bizarre reports and questions in the field of hominid investigations. Very few researchers of his caliber are brave enough to publicly consider the hundreds of recorded encounters that include the spooky action at a distance. Okay. His combined decades of experience
From a distance, Bigfoots are bigger in quantum.
I mean, well, everything you always have is always from a distance too. It's never like up close and personal.
Bigfoot is watching us. Bigfoot
Everyone's
is watching.
You know who Deranged Enosh is
Bigfoot
now?
is
Enosh?
watching
It's Bigfoot.
us.
Deranged Enosh is Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah, there we go. That should be the next super chat he gives.
What's that?
Deranged Enosh should become Bigfoot Enosh.
Yeah.
And then that should be the next super chat he gives.
Sure.
I'll pimp it. Fine, fuck it. Let's see. Okay, his combined decades of experience and tireless hours of research into the realm of quantum physics as it pertains to Bigfoot/Sasquatch and to our own spirituality has resulted in his fascinating new book, The Quantum Bigfoot, which came out 4 years ago. So didn't Cameron say that the new book?
Yeah, I mean, we could rewind by like 10 seconds.
Maybe Cameron is like lost in time, and
again he's drinking.
No, listen. Cameron is actually an interdimensional being himself who's just recently come back to our plane of existence. That's why it's a new book to him.
Cameron is a Bigfoot.
So Cameron, well, this Ron Moorhead guy apparently has appeared quite a bit on Coast to Coast AM, which would make sense. That would make some sense. All right, let's go back a few seconds here and see what he says about this.
So I showed you this. This is a great new book that's come out by a Bigfoot researcher.
4 years ago,
Ron Moorhead, who's actually very, very respected Bigfoot researcher, who's been doing it for decades, right? And this is a book called Quantum Bigfoot, which explains in detail his conclusion now after decades of being a traditional Bigfoot researcher that these beings are not physical, that these beings are interdimensional nature. He calls them quantum. He says because they are able to change in the subatomic level reality. His whole book is about all these accounts and this, evidence from accounts suggesting that these things can vanish in thin air. They can reappear in different places instantaneously. They can do all kinds of things, which are not the attributes of a physical being as we understand them, and which fits in most Native, every Native American group has their own Bigfooty kind of story. And most of them seem to indicate that these are spirit beings, right? And so that's why you're never going to capture it. They might leave behind a footprint or a hair, but the reason you're not going to capture it is that it's from one of these higher dimensions. It's only temporarily entering this world.
So let me ask you a question about that, because I always thought that. So in my mind, I originally thought that they were like elementals, so spirits.
I would consider elementals interdimensional beings. Yeah.
Perfect. That's exactly what I always thought it was. And I watch all these, paranormal caught on camera and all these other, chasing Bigfoot and whatnot. And I'm like, you'll never catch it because it's an elemental. I have always thought that.
It's like trying to capture fire or air in your hands. You're not going to be able to do it.
So it's like a Will of the Wisps, essentially.
Yeah. From Brave.
Bigfoot is an elemental, interdimensional being that is not made of physical attributes, but it's simply a gaseous substance.
Credence to the whole thing where Pixar is behind everything. Brave.
Oh yeah.
Brave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Weren't we also talking about another Pixar movie earlier on as well?
Monsters
We've
Inc.
met Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. Yeah, that's right.
Which people believe that Monsters Inc. and Brave are connected.
Yeah, with Boo.
With Boo, the witch.
God.
Wait. That's a theory I don't know.
Yeah, the theory is that the old lady was Boo.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Because
that's a real theory.
She
okay,
has
now I'm gonna look this up.
She has Sully, Mikey, and the Planet Pizza truck. She has all the doors.
Yeah, the theory is that she teleported to this world via the doors, and she's been trapped there for many years.
Okay, but there was Nemo and Jesse dolls in Monsters Inc. in Boo's room.
Yeah, because they exist as well.
Mm-hmm. It's a big Pixar.
It's part of the Pixar theory.
Brave is the first movie, and the Wisp of the Wills is the thing that gives the Incredibles, the superheroes Incredibles.
Oh, have you heard the Monsters Inc. Incredibles theory?
No.
I've
the
heard
Bugs
of
Life evolve. The Bugs Life bugs evolve into the monsters and Monsters Inc. and all that stuff.
No, not that one. No. If you go back and you watch Monsters Inc., when they have the interview with everybody outside of Harryhausen's after they nuke it. And they go like, all the monsters are like, oh, this one picked me up with this man and shook me like a dog. And like laser beams fired out of its eyes. Like, it's like that didn't happen at all. Cause we're laughing about that. Cause like these guys are clearly making it all up, but go and watch Incredibles 2. Jack is a polymorph who can travel interdimensionally, has the ability for telekinesis, and can shoot laser beams out of his eyes.
Oh my God. He teleported into the world.
Pixar is the biggest cinematic universe that is not no way has crossover events.
That makes so much sense, though.
Right? That's not my theory, by the way. I read that online.
Remember, he could turn into that little monster, right?
Yeah.
So he turned into the monster. Then he teleported by accident. Went crazy for like a couple of seconds. Then he vanished.
All at the time when Boo and Mikey and Sully were running away from Harryhausen's. Somehow it happened all in that moment in time.
Wow.
Just a couple minutes.
The PCU, Pixar Cinematic Universe.
Just saying. That theory makes a lot. I was watching Monsters Inc. the other day and I'd read it online and I got to that part and I was like, started laughing and my girlfriend's like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, this is, maybe what's going on with that. Mm-hmm. And then I showed her all that. Cause we watch like monsters at work a lot.
Right.
And and the movies cause the kids like them. So you pick up on a lot of those little things. I've watched so many Pixar films.
Right. Like the whole Pixar theory is basically the whips of the wills is the thing that gives the superheroes their powers and also what brings the toys alive. And also it helps the bugs in Bugs Life evolve into the monsters. So basically Brave is like supposed to be like the starting point and on for the Pixar.
In most instances, if they were to find a way to like come in and say, like, think of it like Dark Universe, right? When they're like, we got to make it all connected. All these horror franchises got to be connected. And it was really stupid. If Pixar came out and did it, I think I'd be like, no, I'm on board with this. But who is the...
I think there's still some weird logic holes with the Pixar theory, though. There's some stuff that doesn't make any sense, no matter how you try to connect it.
Cars.
Cars. And
hold on. Cars is the last.
The Wills.
Hold on. Think about this. Cars is the last in the franchise because Cars is so far into the future that AI powered cars have now become sentient.
But what about WALL-E?
It goes from WALL-E to Cars.
WALL-E to Cars. Yes, they come back.
At the end of WALL-E, they were gonna fix.
They rebuilt Earth. All right, but then again, it's all like some other catastrophe happens.
Yeah.
And think of it like Planet of the Apes. Cars is just Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Doc Hollywood and Planet of the Apes in the Pixar universe. Yeah, there we go. We're breaking it down. We're breaking it. Someone report this to Doomcock. Someone report this to Doomcock. We figured it out. The Pixar life equation. That's what we're doing.
So basically, Pixar is life. Pixar is the life equation.
Pixar, yeah.
Pixar's life. Pixar is love.
Yeah, I mean, like it goes,
Wait, so how does Onward connect now?
Onward is I'm gonna argue. Brave. I would say it's Onward is after Brave.
How does Wall-E connect?
Oh, Wall-E is after Toy Story.
It's the epilogue between previous two Cars. Whatever, because you have Brave, then you have Onward.
Wait. So how's Lightyear gonna connect?
Lightyear's because Lightyear is a movie inside of a movie.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So it really doesn't matter.
It's
that.
That.
Well, Rational here asking how is Wreck-It Ralph connected? It's not, because it's not Pixar.
Yeah. What about that new
movie? Well, unless you count Pixar 2, when Merida does pop up in the Oh My Disney, but that is also a website.
It's also an AI thing, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not even like really that's
not really connected, yeah.
Yeah. Because also you have Coco's Soul that can take place whenever.
What about the movie Turning Red, where the girl turns into a giant red panda? How does that connect?
You can say she's part of the a super, where she's part of the Incredibles. She's like Jack.
Well, how does Up connect? Well, Up connects because Up happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, Up can take it can take place during everything else. It's just
same with Toy Story,
Up
Ratatouille.
Up is a fever dream of an old. It's an old man's imagination before he dies. It's like that moment that like he's about ready to die.
No.
Oh, you just want to say
why
that.
do you want a sad ending?
No, you want to know sad ending. Have you guys seen what would have been Monsters Inc. 2? Have you ever heard that theory? That one? I don't know if it's true or not, but it's like basically it's like Sully, because remember at the end of Monsters Inc., Sully reopens Boo's door, right?
Yeah.
And the I saw a video on it again. I don't remember if this is what they're actually working on, but like the time progresses faster or slower in Monsters World, and so like they end up finding out that like Boo is an old lady on her deathbed in Monsters Inc. 2. Like, because I mean, I was always kind of wondering about that too. It's like if you think about it, if you go to Monsters University, when they go through Monsters University and they go into the human world, into the summer camp is an older summer camp, right? If you look at even some of the cop cars that are out there, the cop cars are an older cop car. We're talking like 50s, 60s maybe.
Do they scare Boo to death?
They don't scare Boo to death, but like she remembers Sully. Basically, and like he comes in to say goodbye as she passes away. I don't want that, to be honest with you. Like, I don't want,
No, it's horrible. It's depressing.
Well, Monsters at Work kind of also destroyed that theory. There's an episode where like they have to take a kid out of the room and like Mike and Sully watch it for the day while the MIFT team fixes a broken wall, and it's supposed to take place over a night. So I don't know. I don't know how that's playing out, but it's also an animated show for kids. So it's,
basically the theory is basically Good Dinosaur is the Good Dinosaur is an alternate universe, which kind of kickstarts this whole universe of Pixar that causes this whole thing.
How do we go from Bigfoot and interdimensional beings to Pixar movies and the Pixar?
I think because we were talking about like Pixar theories and
I
things
know,
like that.
I know. Just saying, the night is gone.
This has been very weird. I think it's probably a good time to kind of wrap it up because it is almost 1 a.m. my time, and I do have to be up early with my kids to go do school stuff. So hold on here. Rational here with $2, man. Thank you. Says Matt, remember the Toy Story 3 alternate script? I don't actually.
They all die at the end.
Well, yeah, wasn't that also what were we just learning about the other day? What movie was it that Endgame?
Bigfoot travels interdimensionally and rips them all to shreds.
Well, that's another thing that Karen, Pasha, and Menezes were talking about, saying Feige's lost his mind. He wanted to kill them all.
Oh, right. Yeah, never mind the context. The context
of
the
this
scene.
Idea they were pitching.
It was like, well, it was them all together. That was what it was meant to be. It was meant to be like Toy Story 3, they were all together accepting their fate. And then they're like, no, that's too dark. And, but never mind, like Logan was pretty dark.
Yeah.
So
at the end of the day, what we should all take away from this is that Cameron Pasha is a very interesting, strange little man.
He really is. He really is. And I believe we'll probably be watching a fair amount more of Cameron Pasha as time goes on. Because I think we're starting to see the cracks in
out of all the individuals in this little circle, he's one of the most interesting ones because he's not like a Ryan or a Jeremy where it's painful to listen to. He's so fascinating about how strange he is and how he completely believes everything he's saying. Where he says with such an utter conviction that he's like, there's something about this guy. He's dumb, but he's interesting to listen to. You know?
A little bit, yeah. I don't hate the guy, by the way. I mean, people may think I dislike him. I don't dislike him. I don't hate him. I agree that he's fascinating. I also just want to know if he's the one who...
he's the secret mastermind.
He's the one behind... He's the Palpatine.
He's secretly
the Palpatine,
a genius.
Yes.
Yes.
I have foreseen it.
Go to CameronPasha.com.
Doomcock, you will go to my Sertelian moon, and there you will find my hideous, horrible theories on Bigfoot.
What if Cameron is just Harvey in human form?
Then we'll have a delightful beverage.
That would be hilarious.
Have a Dr. Pepper.
I told you, it makes so much sense. Cameron is actually an interdimensional being that put his consciousness into Harvey whenever Doomcock needs to consult.
Wait,
Harvey
are you saying that Cameron Pasha is really just Snoke?
Stuff like that about me.
Are you saying that he's Snoke?
Yes. The body that is Cameron Pasha as we know it is not his actual physical form. The real physical form is back in the center of the earth as Harvey.
Oh.
And Doomcock consults Harvey to get all of his scoops. He is the insider because he can use remote viewing.
I like the number 2 theory. I like the number 2 theory.
So funny and confusing about Doomcock as a concept. Like, isn't he from like the future?
Yes.
Like, would he like know all of this stuff?
He's an evil villain from the future.
Like,
although according to Chile, we're all just as crazy as Cameron is apparently. So.
Oh. We all are psychos in our own areas.
No. The thing is, we're just having fun.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to spend like 28 hours on this and go like it's all real. You know, like
RJ,
that
who's your daddy?
Hey, Simon said that, not me. Why'd you make that about me? That's a little.
Because RJ, you are my right-hand man. You are the second in my Sith apprentice thing that we do now. And I'm your daddy. I'm your daddy.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Wow.
Don't make me put you over my knee.
Oh God.
Can we get the stream now?
I will pull your pants down here, mister. I don't care if we're in the grocery store.
The hell?
He's really a Sith Lord.
He's kind of getting into this a little bit too much there. Tiffany's out of town.
Don't make me pull this car over.
No.
Wow. Tiffany's home. She came home tonight.
Oh, okay. But she's asleep.
She's asleep, and I need to get my fix. Daddy needs it. I will pull this car over Lord Vader, and then I will exact my revenge. The revenge of the Sith upon your behind.
Well then. Okie dokie.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Well on
the force rising within my robes. Take your Jedi weapon. Strike me down with it, or just rub it with lotion.
What the fuck?
With each stroke, you complete your training, and you succumb to the dark side.
You really hit that hard C on that one, didn't you?
Yeah. You succumb to the dark side.
It's Spherical Man here sounds like everyone has hit the wall. Probably. But it was a fun stream. It was a fun stream.
This is fun.
If anyone makes it to this point tomorrow, I am so sorry. I don't know if people are going to listen to this.
Imagine
This is my Sith wall. Never mind the hole in it.
If you make it to this part in the VOD, type in "what the Sith" in the chat in the comment box, and I'll know.
The Sith mode.
What the Sith?
$2 super chat.
Whoa, super
imagine
chat
a stream.
says-
Let me go watch that. You watch.
Yeah.
You listen to it on your way.
This is what
The
I am
moment you
here
get to
for as
work,
well.
you just hear Edosh as the Emperor.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Succumb to my will.
It just blasts out loud. In the middle
At least
of the
I will
put
read
you
you
in
the
the
journal
realm
of the
of
will.
pain.
RJ, at least he didn't go to tacos and burritos.
Oh, why'd you bring that up?
Oh yeah.
Taco burrito. That's anyway. Okay, at that point we start going to South Park.
We've gone from Star Wars to South Park. Oh God.
Taco flavor kisses for my band, but I couldn't get taco flavor kisses for my mat. Oh. Taco flavor kisses and a soda pop. I am Jennifer Lopez.
We've gone from Sith Enosh to Yennefer Lopez.
I am Jennifer Lopez, the Dark Lords of the Sith.
Oh, she's
Bring
down
me a
with
taco,
Sith
Lord
Lord.
Vader.
There we go. Mo Moon here says, "This is what I'm here for."
Exactly.
This
You
is
get
Simon
more of
asking,
this.
"Is that J-Lo?" Oh, dude, you have no idea. Oh, yeah, you don't
Get
even know.
more of this.
I am the one and only Jennifer Lopez. Tacos and burritos.
Tacos, burritos. All right, everybody. I think on that note, probably a good time to kind of wrap it up. If you haven't already, slap that like. Slap it like you want to slap Enosh for doing this bit.
Slap it. Slap it. Slap it like you slap a burrito.
Slap Enosh with a burrito and a taco.
Oh my God, you guys are like, you guys are dirty in the chat.
Oh my God.
I'm looking at some of these I have to approve.
Oh my God.
Hold on here. I'm making Taylor a mod. Why aren't you a mod already? There you go.
No,
Okay.
this is not pre-Ben Affleck.
Moisture is asking, is that cultural appropriation? He's asking if that's
I am a
cultural appropriation.
cartoon.
She's a cartoon.
I am a white boy's hand. Do not ask me such things.
Oh
Bring me
my
a
God.
taco.
It's
You
Yennefer
know-
Lopez, everyone.
You know, Jennifer Lopez
Yennefer Lopez.
loves her band. And if
She
you
loves
think
her
that
band and her
episode is very,
tacos and
very,
burritos.
very messed up. Very, very messed up. I mean, Cartman went to such lengths to prove his point. Yes.
Wow.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that, Senorita Jennifer Lopez.
You're very welcome.
Thank
I'm
you.
happy to be here anytime. I'll be your musical guest.
That's good. I could always maybe use one, I guess.
I want to make a run for the border. Tell you what I want to order. 2 tacos and a soda pop.
Oh man. Yennefer Lopez, everyone.
All right. So, RJ, where can people find you?
You can
Bringing me
find
my
me
tacos.
find it Resident Justice, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all that good stuff.
All right. And then, Caden, are you going to be bringing Jennifer some tacos?
He's on burrito duty. Actually,
I'm on burrito
I have him
duty.
on a whole other duty.
Oh. Oh.
He is a hero of another kind.
Yes, heroes do that.
There's a reason why he's wearing that mask with the very long mouth.
Yes.
Yes. Taco. I got a
You can
taco
find
for him.
me. You can find me on Pop Culture Corner. I'm a producer there. I'm also a producer at Little Big City Studio Networks, which is a new channel that Austin has made. Yeah. So and tomorrow is Lean on Me at Little Big City Studio Network. So that's 7:30 Pacific Standard, 10:30 Eastern Standard. So yeah. It's fun.
Nice. And then Enosh, outside of going crazy, where can people find you?
You can find me at the Poindexter Lounge, hanging out, having fun, making people mad, having fake tea leaf watching Bigfoot hunting guys come into my streams. No, we have fun. We stream like all day long, every day, and have fun doing it. And so
You do stream a lot.
I have been lately.
Like,
Yeah. We got some different shows, different things,
different things, different things going on.
Bunch of different things going on. Yeah, we got some cool ideas coming up. So, heck yeah,
Cool to see everything going on.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for having us today.
Yes.
Thank you everyone for watching. This has been a fun night. A lot of interesting comments in the chat. Should have a lot of interesting stuff to say tomorrow. And I'll probably be on tomorrow night as well because maybe I'll go see Eternals. I don't know. But if I'm not seeing Eternals, I'll be here streaming.
There you go.
Yay! Good night.